Pub Sports Radio is very excited to announce the dates for Pubapalooza 4. The most exciting weekend of the gambling year. Round 1 of March Madness. It's all going down in San Antonio, Texas at the Southtown 101, Thursday the 20th till Sunday the 23rd. It's going down, baby.
Scheduled events every day that weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's all going down in Southtown 101. Come hang out with some of your favorite Pub Sports Radio personalities.
I can't wait. Meet us in Texas, baby. It's going down.
Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for Pub Sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nutflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Ken. Kenny Ken wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Ken, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97 home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian, Billy Friedrich, Joe's one all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
from the corporate Peter Low Shack. Legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a dawn. For the young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio is all. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this but they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, betting with the bag and you love it. We want it top 10, we above it. Let's check.
All right. Say hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Betting with Bouquett. My name is Jose Bouquett. Nice to see everyone in the chat here bright and early on a Wednesday morning. I was going to say afternoon, but a Wednesday morning. We've got a lot to discuss here today. If you guys saw my tweet, you guys already know what's on tap. But we've got Mr. Gogster talking NHL first short card. We'll have enough time to talk to him about it. We'll celebrate our TGL successes as well today. We've got Billy Brisbane joining us for NBA. Rather long card, but it's a good one. So it's going to be a fun one to talk about with Billy. Then we'll roll into college basketball with C-Mac and the two semi-final games. And Wine Time will join us for that as well. So loaded show for today. It's going to be a fun one. Let's not dilly-dally. Let's say what's up to the chat. Then we'll bring on our guy, Mr. Gogster here. And let's start off with our guy, Justin McKelvey. He wakes up bright and early, dropping his stacks plays of the day. Here's one. UCF minus 5.5. And number two, Giannis over 48.5. PRA. Shout out to you. Stacks.
Stacks.
Thank you, Justin, as always, for jumping in, dropping those bright and early swig, mentioning that our playoff pool tickets are live. They are indeed live. Shout out to Swig, the mastermind behind the website. And Jimmy and I finally got that video recorded. So if you're wondering, what is the playoff pool? How do I join? How much is it? Here's a lovely video for you guys.
The NFL regular season is over. Congratulations to our 2024-2025 Cappers Contest champion, Nunya Business, getting all the money. Congratulations to you, my friend. Couldn't go to a better guy. But competing for cash is not over, because it is now time for our second annual confidence pool. There are 13 games in the NFL playoffs, so you have 13 slots to use. Your number 13 is your most confident spot. These are all straight up, not against the spread. You have to use each spot, 13, 12, 11, 10 down to 1. You can't use the same slot twice. If you cash your number 13, you get 13 points. If you cash your number 1, you get 1 point. The capper with the most points after the Super Bowl wins. The top 10% get paid.
And it's only $50 to enter right now at pubsportsradio.com. Sign up before Saturday at 4:30 Eastern time. Get in all the action with our Pub Sports Radio crew.
And we will only take $3 for fees. So $47 goes into the pool, and we will compete for the cash.
Yes. So, like the video said, $50. It's going to be a fun one. Signups end right before the first game there. $50 right there at the website here. Kong's asking a great question. Will we be paid out for our perfect weeks in the Cappers contest before this weekend? I don't believe so. Jeff has to PayPal everyone, and there are limits to the PayPal transaction. You can only send out so much money per month. So I think he's sending out, as we speak, Kongs, all the top 8 winners right now, and then sending out those after that. So I'm not 100% sure, but if you are a winner of those perfect weeks, email, because we need to know where to send this. Email us, pubsportsradio@gmail.com, and let us know how we can, or well, I should say, email us your PayPal information. So, excuse me, so we can sell that to you or send that to you. Excuse me. Nufflush Allen, Justin, Lex Steele, Morgan Spooner, Bo Jackson, all in here as well. Shout out to you guys. Morgan just started your action. We'll come back to that here in a second. Let's not dilly-dally anymore. Let's bring on the undefeated TGL capper, 1-0, ROI out the wazoo. I told all my pals to bet it, and we all won. No fucking problem. It's Mr. Gogster joining the program. Gogster, congratulations on your successes last night. It was a resounding victory.
Yeah, that was kind of from a first hole to the 15th hole there. Xander and company there. I think height combined was about 5'4". No offense to them, but struggled with the big boys there hitting the ball. It was a good time though, man. I'm just watching the replay right now, and it was fun. It was cool. Some of the holes were wild. Wyndham Clark talking shit too. I didn't expect that. Actually, I probably should have. That's just
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. Shout out to the Cowboys. Yeah, he was talking shit to Xander. So was Lowry. They were Xander was kind of over hitting a shot, and they were what they said. They said something to him, and he's like, "Oh, don't say that." And then he looked over at the boys. Should we say that? Should we say that? They're just toying with Xander the whole time. It was great.
Yeah, they called that timeout too. I don't know if you got there.
That was it. That was the timeout.
They iced him at one point. That was very funny. So it's
yeah,
going to be very interesting to see all this play out. We're 1-0 betting the TGL Tuesdays, as we call it. I hope our guy Pete tailed as well. So let's get right after it, Ghost. You've got a few more minutes here. We've got to get you back to the stick guy, the stick company.
Well, that's it. Today actually, I'm probably gonna be taking the day off. I got. I got the flu, to be honest. Right now, like I battled yesterday, but today I'm probably gonna be taking off. So we got a bit of time today if we need it. But yeah, shout out to the Hawks.
I can't believe it. Gogster's sick, but looks and sounds as healthy as ever.
Yeah, we look better than we feel on the insides, that's for sure. But we had a good day in the NHL too yesterday, guys. We all of our money lines cash there. We hit the parlay there with Dallas and Washington, I believe it was, or no, Dallas and Edmonton. We hit LA. I'm all over the place. Let me just go back to it here quickly for you guys. We hit Tampa Bay. We hit Detroit. Both teams to score in Columbus and Pittsburgh. We hit that one as well. And then the Sharks to close it out. We had the under 2.5. Only scored 2 goals. So we're seeing the board pretty good lately.
Well, that's fantastic. And we roll into today. By the way, Dan Kelly, I had a few friends of mine also having issues, finding the TGL. I use my local, so I'm not.
Is it on Espen?
No, just to bet it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I saw FanDuel didn't have it last night. Ooh. I knew that in Virginia, at least. I knew they didn't have it. So it's a little tricky.
I know DK did. What was the other book? Points Bet. That's another one there. They had it. Bet Rivers, I believe, did as well. So there's some other books around. Yeah.
It posted late for me too, Dan Kelly. I had to wait until like an hour before the event. And the line even moved toward the other team, and we still took it and won. God damn it. So there we go. Let's get into this hockey, Ghoster. Small card. Let's get the man back in bed so he can feel better tomorrow. Let's go to our first game. Vancouver, Washington Capitals here. Now, Ghoster, you know me. I watch our guy, Jimmy the Bag. I know him in and out, and he has been fading this Vancouver Canucks team game in, game out. Shout out to Elias Pettersson, who has become a locker room cancer in there. The team. We have no confirmed goalie yet for Vancouver, but we do have Logan Thompson confirmed for Washington here. 93% of the bets and money all over Washington. The line has skyrocketed a bit from 160 to 185. We'll see if that's goalie related with the Iron Lady probably not going today. But like I said, these are two teams that I know Jimmy does not want to bet on. Vancouver has been a fade for him. Washington has been a fade for him all year. He's on the under full season points for Washington. I find this game to be a tough one that I didn't want to put my money on either side here. A minus 180 almost for the Washington Capitals does make the Canucks very interesting here. But if I had to play one thing in this game, Ghoster, it'd probably be a total in this game. We have a 5.5 here.
Yeah.
85% of the bets, 93% of the money on the under, or excuse me, on the over. And I see now sixes actually all over here. So, I mean, I guess I'd lean over, but it's a tough game. Juice still on the under. So maybe if you're feeling froggy and want to fade the market, see you take an under, but I have no action on this game. I don't think I'm going to move on at Gogster. What do you think?
I think actually the Capitals, I think they are the play here. They got the better goaltender here, especially of late. Last 3 games there, Thompson, he's 3-0, 924, saved 90 of 97 pucks. Not Demko. He's going to be out. Lankinen, he's 1-1-1. He's only saved 48 of 56. Like, he hasn't faced a lot of rubber, but he's not saving much that he's been seeing there. 857 save percentage. Special teams guys, it's in favor of the Capitals right now. 31% power play, 84% penalty kill. They're healthy too, Jose. The grade 8 Ovenchik in there, Ovechkin. For everyone else, he's healthy. Everyone else is back in the lineup. They're coming off a loss too, guys. This team doesn't lose a lot. Last time they lost back-to-back, December 16th, when they played Dallas, then Chicago. Played Boston, lost that game, bounced back against Toronto. Lost against Detroit, bounced back against Boston. Now they just lost to Buffalo 4-3, so I don't want to just go back to the trend, but I think this Canuck team, they got Pettersson out, Joshua's been out still, Hronik's out as well. I don't trust this team, especially with Lankinen. He did okay to start the start of the year. When Demko was out, but as time goes on here, the Capitals, they're just a team that I'm actually quite high on, Jose, and I like them here. I got a money line parlay with Washington here, guys. Even if you want to take them regulation, I think they get it done here tonight.
All right, and this is the first time these teams have faced each other. Last 5, by the way, for Vancouver. 5-4 loss in overtime, 3-0 loss to Nashville. You beat the Kraken in a shootout, and they lose to Calgary there 3-1 before going back and losing.
They haven't held. I'm just looking too. They haven't held a team under 3 goals since they beat Colorado on December 16th. They've been allowing 3 goals in at least 3 goals in every single game. The last 10 games, the Canucks. So, Capitals team total over 3.5 gave me in play here.
Okay, I like that look, Gogster. Let's go to our next game here. We've got a good one, sort of. Colorado, Chicago here. Chicago at home at the very least to make them, I guess give them a chance, because we know that the Colorado Avalanche, they've been a great team in the National Hockey League for quite a while, and Bedard and the boys are trying to just climb up there. Now, it is interesting. The Blackhawks have beaten them already once this year, 5-2. That was in October. So it's been quite a while now since these guys have faced off. But let me tell you what, I'm not trying to get in front of the Avalanche. They're 4-1 their last 5. They beat the defending champions 3-1. It's funny enough, they lose to Montreal in a shootout, but they beat Buffalo, they beat Winnipeg, they beat Utah, and the Blackhawks on the opposite side, they're 1-4 their last 5. They lose to the Rangers 6-2, and the Rangers suck this year. So there's nothing I want to get into this game. Market in it. 78% of the bets, actually that is spread there. 93% of the bets, 89% of the money on the Avalanche, not surprising. 82% of the bets, 87% of the money on the over. Both goalies are confirmed here. We're getting Trent Miner for the Colorado. Never heard of that man in my life, Gogster, and Peter Mrazek here. Who the hell is Trent Miner?
Well, we're mining for Trent here. We're going down to the Colorado Eagles. This guy, you know what? Good for this Trent Miner, because I remember this. He's been for the Colorado Eagles guys since 2020. 5 seasons with this team. Really good year last year. He's finally getting his first start. He was in relief against Washington. Had saved 12 of 13 in a period and a half. So he's ready for it. He's what would he be? He's 22-year-old. From where is he from? Manitoba, I believe. So good Canadian goalie. Hopefully he's going to be good. But I think this guy, they're gonna play behind him. They got a back-to-back tomorrow. The reason why they're starting Trent Miner is because Blackwood's going to go against Minnesota, and their strong record has been because of Blackwood. He's been really strong since he's came over from San Jose. So you know what? In this game, I don't want to see a lower scoring game, but the way the Blackhawks have looked, guys, they haven't gone under since December 19th against Seattle. They've gone over their total every single game, similar to the Canucks. They've been allowing at least 3 goals, too, in every game, but the one against Montreal. I'm going to take the Avalanche here, guys. I think they're going to rally behind Trent Miner here. They're playing really well. Last 30 days too here, I have they're 11-2, playing really good hockey. That's without Nichushkin, guys. He's going to be out. Clinton's been out for a while. Miles Wood, and then Ivan. Shout out to Ivan. He's also out for this game. So I do think it's going to be a lower scoring game. Blackhawks are a tough team to trust. Their special teams are actually decent, but I would think a lower scoring game. Like if you want to take it under 6.5, it's this a tough cap. But I do think the Avalanche are going to win this one, just with Trent Miner being in net here. Can he look really bad? Yes, but he's got a team in the Blackhawks, which is the perfect team you want for your debut in the NHL. So I'll take the Avalanche here, guys. It's going to be with the Capitals moneyline parlay plus 122.
Okay, good work there, Gogster.
Thank
Looking
you.
at some of the action in this game, probably not going to get on it, but I agree. I like that young goalie the team plays from, kind of look, especially with one that is.
And he's had he had 4 years in the minors. You could say, yeah, maybe he didn't deserve it, but he had a .930 save percentage last year with a .210 goals against. This year he's 8-5-3 with a .903, .247. So I think he'll be a backup behind Blackwood, but a backup behind Blackwood. Within time he'll be a starter. I wouldn't say a starter, but I think this is a good spot for him here. Yeah.
Okay, good note there, Gogster. No action for me here. And Swig, good point. Like you mentioned here, Swigs, no better team to get your first NFL start than Chicago Blackhawks here. Nice
NHL,
to see you.
NHL, but yes.
Yes. What did I say? MLB?
NFL. You said NFL.
Jesus. Rem, nice to see you as well. I guess we got football on the brain. Florida, Utah, next one up. Gogster, I'm not going to lie. I expected this line to be pretty to be higher. I expected it to be somewhat closer to to Colorado here. Minus 135 on the road for the defending champions seems pretty cheap, Gogster. I'm not going to lie to you. So my guard is up here. We are in the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. So that means the Mormons will be out there in force drinking their alcoholic beverages. First game against these two. First game against each other for these two teams. Utah 1-5 their last 5. They're coming off of a 3-2 loss in overtime at Dallas here. This is their first game at home in the last 4. Their last four were all on the road. They lost all of them except one to Calgary here. Florida, kind of in the opposite scenario. They were on the road, on home for a really long time, and then they set out to start on a road trip here. 3-1 loss at Colorado in their last game on the 6th here. So you could tell me that, sure, they're a little, perturbed, a little angry, want to get their dub back. But I don't know. It seems like this line's a little fishy to me, Gogster. We've got unconfirmed Bobrovsky and confirmed Vejmelka here for the Utah Hockey Club. I find this game, I think this is the most interesting game of the card, Gogster. Yes. We have 88% of the bets, 96% of the money on the Florida Panthers here. And this line opened up at minus 128, and it's basically stayed there the whole time. If I had to play this game, Gogster, I think it's Utah or pass. And if I'm going to play one hockey game today, I think I'm going to play Utah here, full game money line. Would like to hear your thoughts. Would like to hear everyone else in the chat. But this is a fishy line to me, Gogster. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It happened the other day with Toronto there. I was telling you guys Toronto, Philly. It was dropping towards Philly. I'm like, I don't think Philly's the play. And, Toronto won 3-2 yesterday. Bobrovsky, his last few games, he saved 100 of 107 pucks. This guy's been facing a lot of rubber. The last game they lost to their coach, just reading what they were saying, they played well against Colorado. They lost that game 3-1, but they're just saying it wasn't like, they weren't disappointed in their game necessarily. Game before that, though, they played Carolina, guys. They lost 3-1 as well. A lot of pucks they faced on net. But in this game here, Vejmelka, too. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. But Vejmelka, I like Florida here, guys. But Vejmelka, he's 1-1-1, 885, 77 of 87. That's okay. Special teams is in their favor. They got a couple guys out. Good, Gadjevich, Mikula, Ekblad, that's a big one there. Ekblad, Mikula, we want to see if they're going to be in. If they're not going to be in right there, I would be leaning towards the over. If there's going to be no Mikkola, no Ekblad there, it'll be a lot easier for Utah. But Panthers are definitely going to push the pace a lot more than they have, only having one goal in their last few games there. They did beat Pittsburgh 3-2, but they've actually been a very heavy under-trending team, which is a good sign despite not winning those games, in my opinion. They've also had a really tough schedule. Tampa, I wouldn't necessarily say that, actually. Rangers, Montreal. I'm humming and hawing on this game, guys. I don't have any action on it. Both teams are not scoring of late. This is a really tough gap. I actually think Florida is going to win this game, Jose. I tell I'm not too confident in this one, but I would be surprised if because this is it. Sorry, guys, I'm all over the place. Tell I'm a little sick. Brains all over the place. Florida, their road trip, guys, is a small 2-game road trip. They're going actually back home to Boston, or back home to play Boston on the 11th. So I just don't see them. They lost to Colorado 3-1 on the 6th. I don't see them just laying another egg here, going back home, especially hearing what they're saying. Like they're not disappointed in their game. Couple guys out on defense, but offensively, there shouldn't be any issues here. I would maybe even take like a Panthers team total over 2.5. Even a Utah under 3.5, possibly. It's going to be a little bit of juice, of course, but I don't see Florida really losing this game. If they do lose this game, it's going to be. I actually don't see them losing this game. I think Florida's going to win this one. I know I've kind of talked this out with you guys on the screen, but I would lean towards Florida. Not a confident play.
Okay, leaning towards Florida. How do you feel about the over here, Gogster?
Man, get me off this game. I can barely speak English on this game. I would say I would lean to the over. I would, but it's not confident. It's not confident. I want to just get out of this game. My brain's in a spin cycle with this one.
That's fair. I wrote down Utah on the over here. I'll come back to it later here, but I am interested. Let's go to our final game here. Calgary. The Calgary Flames versus the LA Kings here. Kind of a gross matchup. -250 are the Kings, and the Kings are not that good either. They have all the money on their side, 94% of the bets, not 88% of the money. Not surprised by that in the slightest here. Goalies, both unconfirmed, Vladar and Darcy Kemper. So we'll see how all of that will unfold here. Gogster, this is their second time meeting each other. Calgary did win the first one 3-1 on 11-11. Make a wish. But I don't expect the same thing to happen here. I don't trust Calgary. They're 2-3 their last 5. Lost to Nashville. Lost to the aforementioned Utah hockey team. They beat Vancouver, but everyone's apparently beating Vancouver. Yeah. And the Kings are hot. 4 games in a row they've won. Not a team I'm going to step in front of. Beat Tampa Bay 2-1. Beat the New Jersey Devils 3-0 here. And they even take away a 4-3 overtime victory against the Edmonton Oilers, who everyone knows I think is very good here. So easy stay off game for me, Gogster. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I kind of agree there. The only issue with the Kings, I would say, is they haven't played since Saturday, so they've had 3 days off. And then the Flames here, they just played last night. Got the mom's trip. Shout out to Loshak there yesterday. Right. The mom's trip. And what happened? They won that game, guys, 3-2. Playing again today. The momentum is definitely in the Flames' favor, I would say. The first period is where maybe the Flames could get the Kings. With that being said, Kemper's been very strong. In the last 3 games, 3-0, 957, 1.31 goals against, 90 and 94 pucks he saved, 92% penalty kill too for this hockey team. So it won't be easy for the Flames in 60 minutes. The more I'm thinking about this, I think I got to play. I think the Flames team total under 2.5. I don't have this one right now. I'm going to tweet it out, guys. Gogster99 on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to add the Flames team total under 2.5. And I'm also taking the no goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds here. The old Gogster classic. I just see the Kings being a little flat early. And then the Flames defensively, this Kings team, they haven't lost actually. They haven't lost at home in like the last 5 or 10 games in the first period. So they're a really tough team to score on in the first period or even to get the lead on. So no goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds here. And then the Flames team total under with Kemper playing so well.
Okay.
I'm going to find that number for you.
Please do. Let's recap our action here, Gogster. I'm not going to move anything officially yet. I like Florida. I like Utah in the Florida-Utah game and the over 6 there. I will see if I make Utah official later on in the show. And Gogster, you like in this game, this is your only play, correct? No goal, first 9 minutes, 30 seconds, you said?
Yeah, and I'm going to add the Flames team total under there. I'm just looking it up right now, trying to shop around. Anyone in the chat there finding a good number in the team total under, appreciate that one. I'm going to see what I can find here. We got 2.5 minus 150, so that's probably because the total's so low. Do I want to take it? No, I'm not going to take that. That's a little too much juice. You know me, guys. I don't. Minus 125 is about as high as I go. So I'll stay off that. Just no goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds. And that's going to be just 1 second there, Jose.
Well, no rush at all. Well, thank you guys for all hanging in here for the NHL segments here. We don't have TGL after this one here. We've got another one next week. Old Tigers team's going to play next week. So that's going to be fun. And Gogster, we appreciate your golf knowledge as well.
I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I'm having a little troubles bringing up the line for no goal first 9 minutes, 30 seconds, but I'll tweet it out there on Gogster99. In the next few minutes there, guys. AHL action. I'll be really quick here. You know, with a small card, we got to take a look at the AHL for you guys. Oh, it's a full slate, too. Oh, I should have looked at it. I know, right? What are you doing? Your Texas Stars are playing the Rockford Ice Hogs. Rockford's really in disarray. That's Chicago's farm team, so Texas might be a decent look. San Diego's a really poor team, but so is Iowa. Should have no offense to anyone from Iowa. Milwaukee Admirals, they're a strong team playing Manitoba. Lean towards Milwaukee there. And then you know what? They're just a really bad hockey team. Anytime you see Utica, you can kind of fade them. They're playing Syracuse. If I had to give one play here, I'd actually probably be your Texas Stars, Jose, over Rockford. Don't have the line, but that looks like a good play to me.
Okay. Well, beautiful work, Gogster. Thank you for joining us here in your sick game. Go get some chicken noodle soup from Timmy Hortons and enjoy your day.
But I got 4 cans in the cupboard right now. I'm going to go crack one.
Okay. Well, good luck, Gogster. Thank you.
Only
welcome. One play for him. No goal, 9 minutes, 30 seconds. We'll see you next time.
And the parlay, 2-team parlay. We got Washington. And I have and the Avalanche guys plus 122. Be good.
All right. Beautiful. Gogster. Thank you very much. My guy. It was a great job by Mr. Gogster, as always here. Only 2 plays for the man, but he did a good job nonetheless here. And a sick game for Mr. Gogster. So shout out to him. By the way, thank you, Swig, for dropping the Texas Stars line there, minus 110. Dan Kelly got Evan Mobley over 2.5 threes at plus 550. Good Lord. Shout out to you, Dan Kelly. I wish you luck. I hope that cashes for you, my guy here as well. And yes, Res Mob, that Villanova line is fishy. Nice to see you, Nasty Nate. Lynn, nice to see you, even though you're kind of a troll. I appreciate you for watching. And I admittedly did think that was a little funny, Lynn, as well. We'll talk about more of those lines here in a second. All right, we have a pretty decent NBA slate here. Our guy Billy Brisbane will be joining us here in just a moment, but I don't want to slow down the show here, so we'll roll right into the NBA here. I'll give you guys some market analysis, and then the expert Billy Brisbane will come on and do his thing here. But I appreciate you guys all for joining us and hanging in here bright and early on a Wednesday afternoon. If you have not, hit the like button. Nice to see you, Saturated. Hit the like button if you have not hit the like button. If I have not acknowledged your presence in the chat, it is nice to see you, Saturated, Rem, Rez, 3 a.m., all you guys. Even if I did not say your name, I appreciate you for being here. Kong's Clips dropping his Kong's smash play of the day. I'm not going to try to say his first name, but it's Soriano. Soriano plus 150. Shout out to you, Kongs. And one of my favorite intros, Shot to T. Shout out to you. Excuse me. Shout out to you, Kongs. My guy. Excuse me. Saturate. I'm trying here. Lex Steele, nice to see you. Morgan Spooner mentioning why that UConn line looks a little fishy here. We'll talk about that here very shortly, but let's get into the NBA right now. Let's talk some market analysis here real quick. So let's start Oklahoma City Thunder, Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll touch on the market here real quick. Some backstory. We'll bring on our guest, Billy Brisbane here. But Oklahoma City, Cleveland, in a bizarre world, could definitely be your NBA Finals for this year. The NBA would be furious if it happened, but it definitely could happen. Two of the best teams in basketball, I think, confirmed the two best records in basketball as well, both on a 5-game winning streak. Cleveland at home, they get the 2.5-point favorite spot here. Very interesting to say the least here. Some injury report stuff, and this is all very early injury reports, so make sure you tune in, to follow people on Twitter around noon for those shoot-arounds. We still have, obviously, Chet, Caruso are both out for the Thunder. They'll be back hopefully around the 10th. Well, who knows? And Okoro, game time decision today. We'll see if he ends up playing for Cleveland here. Market in this game. And again, this is probably the biggest game of the night for the NBA. So this should be a very interesting market indeed here. We've got 67% of the bets and money on the Cleveland Cavaliers here, minus 2.5. 10,000 bets in on this game. 79% of the bets and 70% of the money on the over in this game here as well. Now, to see where this game opened up at, very interested in that to see if we had any movement. We've gone from a 2 from Cleveland opener, 2.5, and starting to see some 3s now coming for the Cleveland Cavaliers here. Interesting. Oklahoma City, their last game was on the 5th. That was on the 5th against the Celtics. They beat them 105-92 there. They beat the Knicks as well, another top Eastern Conference team, 117-107, while Cleveland is coming off of a 10-point victory against Charlotte and beating the shitty Dallas Mavericks at home or on the road there. This is Oklahoma City's first road game in the last 5 because they were just coming off of a long home stand indeed. So let's bring on the expert. Let's bring on the man, one of the stars of the Locker Room Talk podcast. If you need props, if you need graps, you go to this man. It's the one, the only, Getting Bills with Billy Brisbane. Billy, nice to see you.
My bad. I'm still not used to the show running as it's supposed to on time when you're the host of it, and you don't fuck around, dog. You say the time. You're not lying.
Well, I'm very bad at guesstimating those times compared to Jimmy, but I do know that Jimmy likes to run a little long.
Jimmy runs on colored people time, so I'm just used to that already.
I understand that completely. With Latin American family members, we do the same thing. But this is an interesting game here, Billy. It's maybe the most, hyped NBA matchup of the year. They've got 2 best records. It's not your 2 household names, but at least we've got 2 of the best records in basketball going up against each other here, Billy. If gun to head right now, it's a tough game for me to try to bet. I guess I'm taking Cleveland, but it's not something I'm feeling too confident about, Billy. What do you think about this big game?
Yeah, I overheard you in the other room breaking this game down. This is definitely a premier matchup of 2 of the best teams in the league in the early going for the East and the West Coast, with SGA kind of leading the MVP race right now. And, I mean, look at where the Thunder are at without Chet Holmgren right now. It is very fucking impressive. Sometimes I forget that Chet is even on this fucking team. Can you imagine this team where they get Chet back in there with Isaiah Hartenstein? This is yet to come. Maybe not so, though, because they've been rolling right now. And when you're looking at the spread, you can't help but be interested in betting OKC here, as they've only been underdogs twice this whole entire season when it comes to betting odds. And they've only been underdogs 10 times since last March. So fading Cleveland is easier said than done at home. For me, Cleveland's 18-1 straight up at home and 24-10 ATS this season. So this is kind of like a toss-up gamble on really either side. So if that's the case, I guess I'll side with OKC. But I think when the better props to look at in this game is Isaiah Hartenstein, double-double, -115. With Allen and Mobley down low, he's going to have to do a lot tonight.
Interesting. A little double action for Billy. If you had to play a side, did you have a side that you were particularly looking at? And no, obviously.
I would go OKC. I mean, they've only been underdogs twice this whole entire season, 10 times since last month. So, I mean, anytime you see OKC at plus money, you just got to blindly bet it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Shout out to the Thunder. I cannot. Now, see, the NBA, obviously, we're talking about all these ratings, but the NBA is the prime wake me up when the postseason comes sport here, because Oklahoma City in the playoffs going to be fun to watch and see if they are real deal James Neal here. So nice to see you saturated in here as well. Res Mob, let's roll on to our next game. Big game right there, but maybe we can throw some respect on Chicago Bulls, Indiana Pacers. Will some people in the Midwest be watching this game? Because this is a dumpster fire game if I've ever seen one. The Pacers, I don't know what to make of the Pacers, Billy. I think the Pacers are one of the toughest teams for me personally. Whenever I think of the Pacers, I just tend to think of Tyrese Halliburton running around white women, and I respect that. Shout out to you, Tyrese. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are, Tyrese. The Pacers and Bulls faced off already once, 132-123 victory for the Pacers here. And you can say, I guess, this is another matchup of two hot teams here, Billy, because Bulls are coming off of two back-to-back victories, one against the Spurs, one against the Knicks, and that Spurs game was extremely annoying because they were down big at that game. I was watching on the television at the bar in the beautiful Southtown 101, where, again, don't forget Pubapalooza coming up very soon. You'll be watching those March Madness games, hopefully in the bar yourself with all of your friends in there. But very disappointing loss for the Spurs. Bulls are hot, 4-1 their last 5. Their only loss, funny enough, coming to a shitty Wizards team, and they got blown out at the Washington Wizards. Pacers are kind of in the same vibe, same thing, 4-1 their last 5, beating the hell out of the last 3 opponents they faced here as well. 113-99 to Brooklyn, 126-108 Phoenix, 128-115 Miami, beating them down. They lose to Milwaukee, but that was coming off of a win at the Boston Celtics as well, so I'm sure they were enjoying themselves, and that was on New Year's Day as well, or New Year's Eve, I should say, so probably not the focus. Tyrese was probably just like, where are my white women going to be at today? How am I going to align these white women to come to my house? So I respect, again, Tyrese Halliburton's grind.
Every time I see the Pacers on the card, definitely do feel you on it of like they've been a little bit weird to start off the season. But I got to shout out my man Preston Ekdal. P always sliding up in the DMs, not my DMs, but my actual text messages. Because you got to remember, Preston used to do when we used to have the website differently. Preston used to do the NBA. A lot of the NBA content stuff here at the channel in the early portions before we got, I would say, more popular and stuff like that. And Preston's always advocating for Josh Giddey, triple-double, double-double, triple-double props, 1,400. Let me pull up the text message because the last time Preston played this, he made a bag off of this, bro.
Yep, and I get those same parlay text messages from Preston as well, telling me that he's on.
Double plus 2,500 triple double. He put $25 on the triple double and won $650, and put $25 on the double double and won $150. Altogether, $965 off of $50 on Josh Giddey props. So I gotta play Josh Giddey props. Dog, you be fucked up in 241 total. Come on, Giddey on up, baby. Giddey on up. Rebounds and assists over 13.5. If you want to play the triple double and the double double props, go ahead. Josh Giddey over 6.5 assists. He's had a 71% hit rate with 29 plus minutes since joining the Bulls. This number is getting low because he hasn't hit it. He's only hit it in 1 out of 4 games, but the Bulls lineup has been a little bit weird in the last couple of games, but it's been kind of confirmed that like him and Lonzo are probably going to close games from now on. But 2 of those misses, he had 14, 15 assists. So I think he smashes this line. 9 plus rebounds, 5 out of the last 7 games. All the trends that you would want to see for triple double. But when it comes to the side, I didn't even talk about the side, my bad. Both teams come into this game with some momentum. The Bulls are winners 4 of their last 5, while the Pacers have won 9 of their last 12 games. And they're starting to look like that playoff team from last year. When these two teams played last month, Indiana was able to win and put up 132 points. I can kind of see this game playing out very similarly, as the Bulls are always in high total games and the Pacers have the offense to push this game over the total. It could definitely be a sweat down the stretch, but I think Indiana covers the short line at home. I like Indiana here. I would probably take all line though. I think this could definitely come down to some free throws.
It's an interesting game. I have no opinion. I did look at the central standings here, Billy, and I just saw the Cleveland Cavaliers are still 31-4, which is crazy. 10-game winning streak.
You also have to take that with a grain of salt, bro. They're playing shitty ass teams in the East.
That's true.
Like fucking Washington Wizards 3 times in the first part of the season. Yeah, you're going to be 30 whatever and 4. I mean, look at the Boston Celtics record before they went out west.
That's good. That's a good point, Billy. Way to keep me grounded. I agree with everyone, though. I just give me to the playoffs so I can see if this Cleveland Cavaliers team and Oklahoma City team are actual real threats in the playoffs. In the regular season, shit's sweet. But we'll see. Two good matchups there coming up. Next, Washington, Philadelphia, 76ers here. Dumpster fire game that we don't have to spend too much time on, Billy, because I'm sure this game is not going to be watched in Philadelphia.
This is a prime circle spot here for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, very interesting. Well, let me start with this, Billy. You can get into this game for $5 American tonight.
That's bullshit. I live right by Wells Fargo. You ain't getting into no fucking Sixers game for no fucking $5. I'm telling you right now. Unless you want to be fucking watching the game with binoculars or some shit like that.
That is probably the case.
The average ticket cost for this game is probably like $125, $150 to get like a decent seat.
Well, according to the SeatGeek, or is that SeatGeek? No, it's Vivid Seats on ESPN.
Somebody said I'm drinking my own urine. Healthy? No, this is Green Tea Arizona, not sponsored by the podcast yet. But goddamn, man, worry about your health a little bit.
Green tea. Shout out to you, Billy. But we say all this to say that the 76ers should roll here. They're coming off of a loss in their own right, 109-99 to the Phoenix Suns at home. So I'm sure they're a little annoyed here. 2-3 their last 5. You beat the Brooklyn Nets and Portland Trailblazers. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You blow them out. So that should probably bode well for this Wizards game. By the way, the Wizards are 1-13 on the road this year. 1-13. I mean, they're 6-28 overall.
ATS, you just got to look at the ATS spreads. Their record's got to look bad.
I mean, I'm honestly, I was curious now. Who is the road team they beat here? Good Lord.
Fucking Charlotte Hornets, I believe it was.
I'll tell you right now, Billy. It was a back-to-back against the Atlanta Hawks, and they beat
the Hawks. The Hawks, I do remember.
It was their 3rd game of the season.
I do remember that game very vividly. But as we digress, I would be lying to you if I did. And man, yesterday was nice, man. You just tuned in here at Pub Sports Radio. We had the NBA picks, the fucking college games that they gave out schmack. So I was money, man, at the end of the night, and I was like, I'm no hockey guy. But damn, I don't need to know hockey to know that the Las Vegas Knights are about to beat the dog shit out of the Sharks last night. So I threw in a little 3-leg parlay of the Knights, Philadelphia 76ers, and the New York Knicks. Nasty, juicy 3-leg -120 parlay. But yeah, beggars can't be choosers in this game. Beggars cannot be choosers. You know what I'm saying, Jose? When you're betting games day in, day out, sometimes you just got to take the money and roll it over to the next day. Beggars cannot be choosers. We will gladly get plus money throughout the weekend here. Make sure you guys tune in the Locker Room Podcast. Just came back last night. That like subscribe button here. But regardless of the injury report for the Sixers for this one, they're going to be without Embiid, PG-13, and Lowry. They're 7-16 this year when Embiid hasn't played. These aren't the games the Sixers can afford to lose, taking on the Wizards, who are one record in the league. And seeing what Cooper Flagg has done in the fucking past week at Duke University, there is no interest in them winning games at all by the slightest. Have you ever seen a guy, a Caucasian fellow, jump that high and dunk on that many people?
I did see white on white crime trending on Twitter last night.
Wild. That was wild. There's no way NBA GMs are seeing that or thinking that dude is not selling out tickets. Sixers currently sitting 10th, 2 games out of the play-in spot behind Chicago. Oubre was able to make his return to the lineup in the last game, and he looked really good. Yabusele also looked really good being the starter for Embiid. He was able to get a double-double, and Maxey always just does his thing from night in to night out. We just didn't play defense in that game. The Wizards are coming off a loss last night versus Houston in a game where Kuzma got hurt at halftime. We talked about it a little bit with Loshak about Kuzma under PRA. That ended up cashing pretty easily after he didn't return in the second half. And the injuries are piling up on the side of the Washington Wizards as Brogdon should be back, but Poole is truly questionable. But I'm leaning towards him being out. Some trends that I don't agree with, but that are there for this game. The under is 11-6 when the total is 220 or less for Philadelphia games. For the season, the under is 8-6 in the Sixers home games. And with all those injuries, you could definitely see a lack of offense. But I just don't like how the Wizards have been defending. I would lean towards the Sixers just bouncing back at home after getting smacked by the Suns the other night. But that was also coming off a long West Coast road trip. And then we played in Brooklyn. Then we went back at home, and we just got smacked in that spot. Nobody knew who was going to play before the game. It was not a good showing for us. I think the Sixers could put up 116 points. I don't know why their team total, as I think the game should go under. I mean, bro, this team total at 115.5 at -120 seems very appealing. And I definitely think Tyrese Maxey's about to put up a 30 bomb in this game. 30 points for Maxey, -150. If you want to go over 30.5, minus whatever. I think Maxey's going to have a game tonight over 3.5 3-pointers, -142. We actually need this game. The people that are going to go out there are really trying. And if you watch the Olympics, Yabusele is back in the NBA for a reason. I would not play any Andre Drummond props regardless of him being in or out. I think it's Yabusele season.
Well, that's a fun game, Billy, and I hope it is Yabusele season because he's been playing well on the 76ers. No action for me here. I will mention the market real quick. Pretty split ticket-wise when it comes to the spread. 51% of the bets, 56% of the money on the Wizards, 88% of the bets, 91% of the money on the over in this game. Opened up at 217, has gone up to 221. So I think I'm leaning under there with you.
I would say the under trends are very appealing, but then you press it under in the Wizards game and let me know how that goes for you.
Yeah, watch Jordan Poole play some defense, and you will feel horrible about your over or your under play there.
That, bro. If you told me this final score is like 125 to like 110, that would probably put this game over.
Yeah, and by the way, I did look up ATS records, Billy. Second worst Washington Wizards, 12-20-2. The last place team, the team that's worst.
It's honestly shocking. The Phoenix Suns, we talked about this yesterday with Loshak about how the Suns are the worst ATS team in the NBA and how the Charlotte Hornets were a great play yesterday, but it was too much of a pussy. And I just bet the LaMelo Ball prop. It ended up being safe. Did you see him swerve the corner and go, whoa? I have never seen somebody in an NBA fucking basketball game get double teamed intentionally. So when Kobe did it, he did it at a spite of passing the ball, and he caught the ball to shoot it. My man got double teamed, threw the bitch off the backboard to catch it to himself. No look pass to the guy that was standing on the baseline. Mason Plumlee looked like he was in a 360 circle and just grabbed Mark Williams on the end of a – that's got to be, honestly, bro, top 5 highlights this year, bro. That is wild, bro. What? Who does that in an NBA basketball game against Kevin Durant and Devin Booker? It made them look like kids.
Yeah, for those who are wondering, Charlotte ATS record 19-16. That is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Games, man. Yo, Charlotte is 2 years away, bro. They have good offensive players.
Yep, they just have to learn how to play defense.
Was watching the clip of LaMelo saying to everybody, LaMelo's becoming a man, and saying to everybody, let's use this energy to win more games, while fucking Miles Bridges and Brandon Miller are standing in the corner of the locker room going, I might hit that corner. Whoa. As they're jamming it in the locker room, the coach walks in. He's like, yeah! yeah, like they just won a fucking championship. So things are looking good over there. The vibes are nice out there in Charlotte. As we digress, not a Charlotte Hornets breakdown, but I mean, we might as well talk about every fucking team in the league.
Yeah, hey, that's a fucking solid ATS team, so they deserve our respect here. Toronto, New York Knicks. You know who does not do well against the spread here? Where'd they go? I found them. I lost them here, and I could not find them here. By the way, I didn't mention this earlier. Cleveland and Oklahoma City are obviously the two best teams against the spread this year as well, going against each other. 25 and 10 and 11 and 2.
Some of these ATS numbers are a little bit skewed because the bookies are always going to be behind the public of like NBA knowledge, because the NBA knowledge happens so quickly and like vamply that a lot of these teams are just badly mispriced. Like the reason why the Suns are the worst ATS team because they're fucking laying like 8-10 points against teams. It's like, God damn, man. Like, and so I don't really read too much in the ATS too much.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I will say Toronto, again, it's funny. It's the shitty teams that are playing a little better than we would expect. 20-15-1 against the spread, feeling good about themselves, allegedly, Billy. Are these Toronto Raptors? You've got, first of all, they're obviously at home here, are the Knicks here. So going to play in Madison Square is always a little interesting.
I would not say that at all, Jose. They have not been better. If you look at their last 7 losses, these are the score margins that they've been losing by in their last 7 losses. 24 points, 54 points, 29 points, 29 points, and 14 points. So when they're losing, they're getting smacked, bro.
Yes. That's nice, though, Billy. I appreciate that as a very casual NBA player. If I put my money on you, just fucking lay down if you're not going to cover. Lose by 50 points. I don't give a fuck.
Man, give me an Iowa performance, man. I turned that game on. I saw that game at halftime. I said, down 16 to Nebraska at home. God damn, somebody call Caden Clark on the floor. I tuned into the game after watching some NBA shenanigans for about an hour. And I'm like, whoa, this sportsbook must be wrong. 2-point game, 3 minutes left. What the fuck am I not watching? I'm glad I tuned in. That was game of the day yesterday. Iowa versus Nebraska. Bro, no bullshit. At the end of the game, the dude went to go foul the guy intentionally, like for him to prevent to shoot the 3. Dude pulled up NBA range power forward, by the way, not a guard, power forward. Pulled up NBA range, cash it. Said, we're going to overtime. Berg's freaking the fuck out. And then they just get smoked in overtime and just laid down. That's the worst is when you have an underdog and you think you're live and it goes into OT and it's just dead. I was so happy Iowa pulled that one out. But for this game, the Knicks coming to this game on a 3-game losing streak after being one of the hotter teams in the NBA. Back at home following the loss to the Magic, which is kind of uncharacteristic, only scoring 43 second half points. Correlated kind of to Karl Anthony Towns missing that game. It was the least amount of points that the Knicks have scored all season in a game. The Knicks have won both their meetings versus Toronto this season, and they're just a better offensive team than Toronto. Toronto has been able to put up these road dog spots, maybe take an alt line here, but I think New York's going to bounce back in a big way here, as we talked about, of those big-ass margins, the reason why the Raptors have been losing. But, man, something about playing double-digit with the New York Knicks, it's like if you ask me if you put this in a parlay piece, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. But, like, if you say 11.5, it's like, whoa, buddy, slow that up a little bit. So I would probably say the Knicks team total over 120.5. If they win this game, they probably put up 120 or more points. I would want Karl Anthony Towns to 100% be in this game before I play that. I think he does play, but you never know with the NBA. The NBA, you just click in and Nikola Jokic's out.
Yeah. It was funny that I was watching the Celtics game and I saw the line like just spike and I was like, what the fuck happened? I was like, oh, Jokic isn't it. Makes complete sense in the world. So that's funny. All right, let's keep it rolling here, Billy. It was a fun breakdown. We talked a little Iowa basketball in there as well. Why not? Shout out to Caitlin Clark. By the way, I still heavily invested in the Caitlin Clark business. I am.
As you should be.
Those trading cards keep going up in value. Come on. Detroit Pistons, Brooklyn Nets. 2 of the worst teams in basketball here, Billy. Good Lord. How are the Pistons 8.5-point favorites, Billy?
I would say if you had to say best landing spots for Cooper Flag next year, secretly, if you asked him without cameras, he would probably want to go to the Brooklyn Nets. It makes sense. If you had to say the Washington Wizards, Brooklyn Nets,
Utah
Pelicans, the Utah, send me to Brooklyn. Fuck it, I'll go play in Brooklyn. And the Nets know this too, bro. They clearly have been watching the ACC games, and it's been a complete fire sale in the front office for trades, dog. They've been selling everybody. You know it's real when they bring back D'Angelo Russell. They've been one of the worst teams over the past month in the NBA. The first time that these two teams met, it was 106-92. The Brooklyn Nets were only +3.5 home underdogs in that spot. But since then, these teams have gone two completely different directions. And I hate to say it, bro, even with the Ivy and Thompson injuries for this one, but the Detroit Pistons are a playoff basketball team. When you watch this team play, this team's legit, man. They have legit NBA players. They have legit veterans now, mixed in with their young guys, and they have a good nucleus. Kate Cunningham's been playing at a really good all-star level. Jaden Ivey injury will probably limit their ceiling for this season. The front office is probably secretly clapping their hands of like, yes, we get to lose games. But I think the Pistons are a lot better than what people think. Like, I went to the sports book about like a week and a half ago, and I was in there and somebody asked me about like the Rhino Magic Pistons game, and they're wanting to bet the Magic because it was like only 2-point favorites that the Pistons are. Bro, the Pistons are like a good. I'm telling you, you watched it play on NBA League Pass, bro. They're a good basketball team. Like I would in the Eastern Conference. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. In the Eastern Conference, for example, the Sixers are how bad have they played this season? They're only 2 games out of a play-in spot. Like that shows you the Bulls are supposed to be tanking and they're in a play-in spot. Tells you everything you need to know. I think the best bet in this game is the under 213.
Okay. Good look there, Billy. A little under, perhaps. Public betting, by the way, and everyone bets unders, or excuse me, everyone's betting overs for whatever reason. That's kind of, it feels like the legalization of gambling is contributing to that, honestly. 86% of the bets, 79% of money on the over in this game. And I think this line, and I'm going to double check right now, has actually dropped a few points here as well here. Yeah, it was 216, now 212.5 here. Under would be my play here as well. Nice to see you, Sweaty Butcher, here as well. My Sweaty Butcher, my Caitlin Clark, like 3-year-old Caitlin Clark card, that's skyrocketing.
That Caitlin Clark card is never going down in value. She is literally the face of the WNBA. And mark my words, the WNBA has been in existence for how long? And they only been playing 5-game series and shit like that. Caitlin Clark goes over there for 1 season. They see how much views she did in that playoff game and leading up to it. They said, nah, 7-game series.
Yeah, they said, no, stop the bullshit.
Stop the bullshit. 7-game series. Look at that card. That card.
But do you think this girl's going to fucking lose value? You think this girl's going to lose value, Sweaty? Come on.
Come on, man. And the crazy part is, Jose, that like for the people that don't know, Aaliyah Boston in her own right is a mega star.
Yeah.
Prior to Caitlin Clark even coming over there. So, like, they're really on some shit, man.
Oh, man. And
this game's bad when we start talking about the WNBA. Rivals League, week and a half, man.
I did. I saw which WNBA player's getting a big payday. It was an INSQ. She's getting paid from them. Like, really nice.
Everyone's getting paid. It's Rivals League. Damn. They had better photo shoot and better media than the fucking WNBA. But it kind of makes sense, though, because it's owned by 2 WNBA girls. So they're probably just doing everything that they can't do in the WNBA.
Fair. No, well, Billy, I look forward to Rivals handicapping next week as well, or whenever it starts. I look forward to those -2.5 for the INSQ team or whatever.
You're just going to take the player props. The player props are dude, I thought it was bullshit last year. And like my girlfriend at the time was just smacking these prize picks and player prop parlays and underdogs. I'm like, nah, Rivals is a real league. And these girls are not subbing out.
Okay, well, there you go. We're going to have that covered for you guys next week, hopefully. Portland, New Orleans. Good Lord. Some of these basketball games tonight are the shits. The I guess 2 of the or 4 of the worst teams in basketball all playing. Detroit a little better, I guess, but Portland and New Orleans here. The Pelicans are horrible in their favor.
No, they're not. No, they are not. But
Tell me, Billy.
Man, this line is very short for the Pelicans as they're in a second night of a back-to-back. But things have been really bad this year for them. But the vibes are very high in New Orleans right now as they're getting a lot better during the holiday season. With the city having so many problems right now, it's really been the Pelicans and the bowl games that have really given the city just a little bit of relief and entertainment. And the Pelicans have doing a great job. So with CJ's 50-piece Friday night, and then Zion came back last night. Granted, they lost to the Timberwolves, but they played them very competitively considering where the Blazers are at this point of the season with Grant and Denny Avdia as questionable for this one. I would like to see more of the injury news report before moving on this, but I kind of lean towards the Pelicans, and I expect this line to go down all day. So I'm like no rush to bet this game up until like probably 5 minutes before. But I like the Pelicans in this spot, bro. They've been playing a lot better basketball, and with all that stuff that happened in New Orleans, it's not correlated that they've been playing a lot better in the last week. I think this game goes over. Pelicans, Blazers over 226.5, and I would lean towards the Pelicans money line. And the player props I like in this game, DeAndre Ayton double minus 165, and got to roll with the guy CJ McCollum 25 plus points minus 115. I don't expect Zion to play on this second night of a back-to-back, hence why the line looks short, and it probably does come down throughout the day.
What an interesting game. I mean, the two of the worst teams in the NBA, both trying to lose for a little Cooper Flag in their life here. And I'm interested.
You would too.
Yeah.
I said that shit yesterday. The Dabby Cab and Pete looked at me like I had 8 heads. I mean, number 4 in the country. God damn, dude. Cooper Flag's best player in college basketball.
I would agree with you.
He's the one that can captivate the new era of like bringing the bridge of like American basketball players being like best players. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. No, I agree. And he is America's next great white hope. And for the NBA's sake, I kind of hope he goes to Utah to continue the white tradition.
For the NBA's hope, I hope he goes to Brooklyn, man.
The tradition of great white players in Utah needs to be upheld. I wish you luck.
Utah, bro, he might go out there and die of like, and like, who's going to Utah and just became a star. At least he goes to Brooklyn. That's a star market. I
agree. For his sake, I bet you he wants to go to Brooklyn as well. Clippers Nuggets here. The Clippers, 2.5-point favorites. Now, I think we all know what this means if we see the Clippers being favored here. I would be shocked if we saw our guy Nikola Jokic play in this game today.
Why?
I mean, the line. Why would they be dogs if he was playing?
I'm thinking about this last night, and I'm like, wasn't ruled out for
a long time.
Anything like that. He was ruled out for an illness. All right. Or did Malone see the schedule and was like, we ain't about to beat the Celtics, bro. Let's tank this game real quick and get geared up for the Clippers tonight. Because you got to remember, bro, the Eastern Conference playing the Western Conference for our gambling interests, we care. But in the reality of the landscape of the NBA, bro, they don't give a fuck, bro. Those games don't matter at all for the end of the season, like stuff at all. Mm-hmm. Like at all. They only play those games for like the public. You wonder why the games 82 seasons, they can cut a lot of those games out with some of those trips. But Nuggets on a second night of back-to-back, and it seems like they tanked in last night's game in preparation for this one tonight. And with Jokic being out due to illness, I think he's going to be back for this one tonight. And the problem with the Nuggets has really been their defense. They're giving up 117 points per game, allowing teams to shoot 46.7%. The bright side, it seems like their role players of Ross, Braun, and company have a great chemistry with Jokic. They lead the NBA in points in the paint, fast break points, and assists per game. The Clippers are coming off a heartbreaker loss late versus Minnesota, and I can kind of see this one somewhat playing out similarly. Nuggets win the worst first half, or by far the worst first half ATS team in the NBA. So probably a live betting on the Nugget spot. But I think one way to kind of get in around this injury news is playing the Nuggets team total over 112.5. I think the Nuggets can put up points in this spot.
I would just be shocked if the Clippers were favored with Jokic in the lineup.
Bro. The Clippers have been playing better basketball and Kawhi's been better.
I forgot Kawhi's actually playing. How has our boy Kawhi Leonard been doing anyways? Speaking of.
So I would say from a gambling perspective, the only thing that we really care about, I would say the only thing that has really kind of popped for him has been first quarter over rebounds. They've been setting it at like 1.5 or like a half, and he's been going over. But he's only playing like 20 minutes. So it's like really hard to get a good gauge of like how he looks.
Fair. By the way, Clippers and the Nuggets have already played 3 times this year. This is their final time playing. 109, 104 Clippers, 126, 122 Clippers, 120, 98 Nuggets. So the Clippers are up 2 games in the series already.
Which are nice, bro. Or I should say not nice. They're just one of those prime examples of like they were just not priced correctly for like the first month and a half of the season.
Okay. Well, let's go to our last game here, Billy. I didn't even realize this is our last game. This is so much fun capping this NBA that time's flying right now. And we've got Milwaukee Bucks versus the hometown San Antonio Spurs. I hope you cappers that are coming to Pubapalooza, keep your eyes out on the Spurs here. Cap them in the back of your head thinking that, hey, well, maybe Friday night, if I don't want to go to the poker tournament, maybe I'll end up at 76ers Spurs.
Oh, I think that I don't want to knock the poker tournament. If you're going to a fucking poker tournament to sit in a bunch of room with a bunch of white guys to go play cards over watching Wemby, you got a gambling addiction, bro.
That is hilarious.
Am I right though? Like, I was talking to someone and they're like, "Oh man, what are you guys doing for Pubapalooza?" And I was like, "The first night's supposed to." I feel bad for Jeff because Jeff's gonna have to go back to the little poker room thing after the Spurs game and see everybody in there at like 3:00 in the morning in the same position as they were at like 6:00 at night.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Those are the first night and the second night are always the nights that you're staying up until like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So if you're at the bar, you're gonna stay up until 6 a.m. And shout out to the people that work at the bar as well, keeping that bitch open as well.
We need to be massaging around, if so, poker.
Lynn, I hate to break it to you, Lynn, not this year. Hopefully, I mean, never say never, but I don't think we'll have the masseuse.
All up to you, man. What your hand can do to the swipe right? Philip knows that. Swipe right.
That's a good point, Lynn. And obviously, Lynn, I hope to see you at Pubapalooza, Lynn. But let's get to 76ers. Let's get into Spurs Bucks here. The marquee matchup we'll all see Giannis versus Wemby. Giannis right now, game time decision. I expect him to play, but keep an eye out on those injury reports here. First time they've met up all season. Market in this game. Let's scroll here. 58% of the bets, 55% of the money on the Bucks, 91% of the bets, 92% of the money on the over in this game. I'm seeing a 5 opener, some 4.5 starting to pop up, but nothing too dramatic here. And for the total here, we had 127 opener, now down to 126.5, 126s now. I do lean under in this game. Billy, what do you think?
I do lean under. Some of the Spurs results in the last 2 have just really shown the youth of this team and the importance of Shohan being in the lineup. I always kind of compare him to like a new era Dennis Rodman. Like if Dennis Rodman wins, he'd probably beat Jeremy Shohan because Shohan makes a couple plays. Like if you really watch the Spurs games and stuff like that, he does a lot more than what the box score says sometimes. But blowing a 19-point lead to the Bulls is a huge
disgusting.
The Bucks are always do that thing where they play to their level of competition, but coming off of 2 bad losses, you kind of knew that game versus the Raptors. The Raptors were about to get smacked. And all in all, there isn't really too much value on the sides here, but I kind of lean towards the under. as the Spurs have gone under in 4 straight games. The Bucks have gone under in 2 straight games. Just in theory, the Bucks are one of the better defensive teams in the NBA in the league. And then Wemby's a great rim protector. I lean towards the under, and I haven't gotten to the window with this yet, but Spurs team total under 109.5.
Yeah, I wish I could confidently bet the Spurs, but just the youth comes through.
Every time, bro.
Yeah, it kills me, man. Like the Spurs in 2-3 years, they will be a firm Western Conference contender. But God damn it, they need to keep growing. Those young bastards on the floor need to keep growing, and hopefully,
Can imagine Pop laying in his like bed area or in his office in his house, probably having like heart attacks.
Just like watching the defense, like.
Like,
did Wemby just shoot another 3?
we played 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So and the new coach has not been doing too bad.
New coach said, "Fuck this." The front office told me we need fans in the stadium. Well, fuck it. Wemby's playing 40 minutes, and Wemby said, "All right, I'm playing 40 minutes. I'm putting on a show, man." It's like really the Wemby show, and it's like you sometimes like. Am I lying though, Jose? When you watch the Spurs games, you get so caught up in watching Wemby that you look at the score and you're like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck?"
yeah. It's quite funny. I'll go to the Spurs games and I'll just be watching Wemby the whole time. Like, oh god, this game feels close. You look up, it's 30-10. You're like, what the fuck happened, guys? I thought, and you just realize that the other team just been getting layups left and right, and you're just like, oh shit, what the hell?
The Spurs are an interesting dichotomy. Best player in this class will be Stephon Castle. Give it 2 years. Everybody wants everybody to be, good on day one. While he's shown some bright flashes, dog, he's gonna be
yes
in 2 years.
That is the hope, Billy. We're putting all our hopes in
the lineage of point guards in Spurs history and the athleticism of Stephon Castle, and he was top 5 recruit in high school doing a bunch of crazy shit before he went to UConn, and they kind of put the Hurley rings on him of like,
I just need Chris Paul to fucking teach that man.
Nah, they need to let him just be him again. Of like, I can't imagine of like you go to UConn for 2-3 years, you guys win back-to-back national championships, and you're now you think this is the way basketball should be played. Shit, motherfucker. I just won 2 back-to-back national championships. Like, this is the way. This is system basketball. I need to stop doing. No, you need to go back to that playground and one shit between the legs. Throw that shit up to Wemby. But he might get benched doing that shit with Pop. So it might be 2 years from seeing that.
I just need Stephon Castle, please just listen to Chris Paul and learn how to throw entry passes to Wemby.
Yeah. It's so funny because like you're be yelling at the screen of like, man, why is Chris Paul in the game? And then like he comes out the game or whatever, and then like
you're like, what the fuck?
Into a shit show, dude. And then Chris Paul subs back in, and it's just like everybody's back to being calm. And he's just like, they needed Chris Paul pretty bad. But I do have a couple college basketball games I wanted to talk about.
Well, please touch on them. We'll talk a few with Conor Mac, but please, if you got plays, shoot them.
First spot that I wanted to circle to was SEC Ole Miss going into Fayetteville, Arkansas. We're right back to the well here, man. Got to ride my guy, Coach Cal here, minus the 3.5, minus 120. I think I've been saying this for a while now. I've been getting good value here in the new year on the Razorbacks, as they're only 4-10 ATS this season. So anytime the sharps or the guys in the know, they're like, oh my God, the Razorbacks are 4-10 ATS this season. Coach Cal never covers games. Nah, bro, Cal, this is the SEC opener for Arkansas after they just got blown out by 20-plus points over the weekend against Tennessee. And Cal, if you watch their Instagram videos, Cal's going off on him. He's saying to him, all that talking stuff, man, that's all talk, man. You got to look at the other guy across the court and just say, I'm better than you, and just prove it. And everyone seemed like they kind of received the message. This is a great spot for them. They're only 11-3 this season. They're still a quad one team. This is a huge spot for them. If they can get this W through the hoop tonight, man, the motivation angle is through the roof. One of the things I like about college basketball is like there is there's like a certain psychology to these teams and stuff like that. And this is just a Coach Cal spot. I mean, this total is skyrocketing. So if you're a little bit scared about the side, maybe you go with Arkansas team total over 75.5 minus 120, or just go with the full game over. This total has moved up 4.5 points since the opener, which is pretty big in this area because they already put it up pretty high. This is probably the game of the day for me, and that's the game that I want to watch the most. And then the last game is Texas A&M and Oklahoma.
Sure.
Think this is an Oklahoma flat spot, meaning like I think this game just goes really under. Under 145 and Oklahoma team total under 74.5. They've gone over in 7 straight, but Texas A&M is one of the best rebounding teams in the league. I mean, not in the league, in the college basketball this year. Regardless if Oklahoma wins or loses this game, I don't think they put up like 70 is the winner in this game. Like I just don't see this game being that high scoring. Like you think when you see a top 10 team in the country, you're like, oh yeah, respect the overs, all-star players. Ah. No, bro, Texas A&M games are like dogfight shit fest. I like that under. Connecticut, UConn. That was my top lean of the day was Villanova. I want to get to the window with Villanova. I think Villanova's the right side. But damn, man, I'm trying to go to the casino tomorrow without a heart attack already going down there to bet a bunch of games for the weekend. I think I might leave this one off the slate and just double up on one of the ones I talked about earlier.
Okay, fair enough. I liked all your action there, Billy. I'll tell you what, we're going to be talking about all 3 of those games with Conor Mac Picks, and I am probably going to be in at least 2 of those plays there, Billy. I'll tell you that now.
Spooner said Wade Taylor's out for Texas A&M. Makes me like the under even more.
Well, here we go. It's going to be fun. Morgan, thank you for your action here, by the way. And Billy, thank you for coming in here, dropping your NBA action. As always, good vibes. The Locker Room Talk podcast has just dropped last night. Who we got fighting this week?
It is a bad bet, but Amanda Ribas versus Mackenzie Dern, a rematch that nobody wanted to see besides the degenerates out there in the world. But God damn, I think I'm betting Mackenzie Dern. Make sure you tune into the Locker Room podcast and see how we're getting paid prior to the main event, because I've had a bad little 2 last events or not events, main events. Because, like, we'll be up money on the night of the fucking parlays and the straight bets and the crazy props and shit to the point where I'm at the main event and I don't have to play on the minus 250. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm taking the plus 200 underdog. I'm fucking up 2 units already. It's a great day. So make sure you guys turn into the Locker Room podcast. Hit the like, subscribe. It's a new year, but the same faces here at Pub Sports Radio.
Yep, agreed there. Beautiful work, Billy. I appreciate you. And we'll see you on the Locker Room podcast and on the weekend because the UFC live streams are back, baby.
Yes, sir. And if you're in the Atlantic City area, make sure you pull up to one of the casinos. Probably be at the Trop for tomorrow night's college football game.
All right. Well, shout out to the Trop and shout out to you, Billy Brisbane. Thank you very much. Shout out to you. By the way, quickly, I forgot to mention these earlier here. NBA play of the day, the spreadsheet play of the day, the New York Knickerbockers there, minus 11. Shout out to you, Ronnie Croft. Jeez, Ron. See, that vibe has completely changed now. Can't just relax here, sitting back, enjoying the nice sultry pianos of Ron Crawford. No, you'll instead get the Screamo, and we'll do it again. He's also on Washington regulation as well, and NCAA basketball, I assume. Penn State plus 11. So again, one more time for our guy, Ron Crawford. Shout out to you, Ron, there. Our guy, Justin McKelvey, also had his plays in here as well. I did not star them, so we'll scroll all the way back here. It is Giannis over 48.5 PRA. Shout out to you, Justin, our guy. We'll talk about your other one here in a second, but Giannis over 48.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Beautiful work there to you both. Excuse me. Let's get into college basketball now. Been low-key doing well in college basketball. And I credit this man. Coming up, we've been breaking down college basketball on Wednesdays when we're here. And we don't have many left, so we have to take advantage of them while we can. It's our guy, your guy, Mr. Conor Mac Daddy, Conor Mac Picks, joining the program. Conor, it's nice to see you. I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks as well. I cannot wait for our golf outing. I'll be in Vegas for a weekend. And of course, I've got to hit up my guy, Conor Mac. Only one man I want to see when I go to Vegas. It's Conor fucking Mac. How are you doing?
I'm good. I can't wait to play around with you, Jose. Shout out to the chat. And what do you mean a few more weeks? We've got more than a few more weeks.
Well, I mean just specifically for myself, because Jimmy's going to come back on Wednesdays, and that means that no more betting with Bouquett. But God damn it, we are going to milk the money while we can, Conor.
All right.
Man, and Lynn, by the way, Dutch is lower on my list of that call for Vegas. I'll admit it. He's lower on the list than Conor Mac. Conor Mac's number one. Dutch lower. But Lynn, if you were on that list, just know you would be on it. You would be on that list, Lynn. Even though you're a bit of a troll, Lynn, I'll put you on the list. It's nice to see you still in the chat, though, Lynn. All right, Conor, we've got a lot of games to talk about here. I am excited to talk about these games. You've put some of your action in here. I put all three of those games to knock them out. I'm excited to hear all what you have to say about these games. And there's two games in particular. We saw it was yesterday. Dabby Cab spit in the face of the unranked team or whatever. The lower ranked team favored against the ranked team. We saw how that went with Florida. And I'm very interested in that spot here again with two spots here. So let's start with Coastal Carolina and App State Mountaineers. Roll.
Well, wait. Let's get in this. Most of the bets I have are on the games we have. These are the more intriguing games than you had. And I do have a better too, but
that's a good note. Thank you.
Yeah, your games were awful. So,
well, Conor, let's talk about Coastal Carolina versus App State. Everyone loves them some App State basketball. When you think of App State, you think of the field goal block against Michigan, and then this beautiful App State squad, obviously. 86% of the bets, 94% of the money on them, only 1,000 tickets in so far, 68% of the bets, 67% of the money on the over in this game. So we will look at where this spread and total opened up at. I'm seeing 7.5 still. We're seeing an 8 starting to come up here as well for the Nears here. And as for the total, 126.5, now coming up to 127.5 and 128. Very interesting here, Conor. Two teams that, again, when I think of both of these squads, I will admit I do think football first. But when you go to the Holmes Convocation Center, you expect the ruckus. And by the way, App State is 1-4 in their last 5 and struggling here. They beat Texas State. Coastal playing a little better, but both 1-2 in their conference here. What do we have? What's happening here, Connor? We're going to Boone, North Carolina for this game. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, we're going to Boone here. You know, when I go through these two teams, I don't think much separates them. Well, I do think App State is the better team. This is the problem when you look at college, like college basketball here. These are the times you don't want to back App State laying points. They've been excellent catching points. Let's say when they play North Texas teams like that. So both these teams, I mean, Coastal's 8-7, they're 7-7. When you go through everything, of course, App State already two home losses. They're 5-2. I do like Coastal. At least they're 2-5 on the road. We talk about how bad these teams are on the road all the time, especially these smaller schools. But I think Coastal Carolina here. One thing is, well, I think they played so well, and this total's low, which I agree, which makes me like this dog even more, that this game's low scoring and that they're in it. App State, of course, has a great defense, but so does Coastal. I love how they've been playing all year. This defense, the numbers are really big. They've been great against the 3, too, defending it. Top 5 there as well. App State pretty good there. And, of course, App State, one of these teams that don't shoot a ton of threes, decent from there. A bad free throw shooting team, 63%. That's 347 in the country. I mean, do I have to say more here, Jose? Coastal Carolina. And I lean under, as we have a low total here. But I think the points are valuable here in two teams that are too close, and I don't buy App State being this big a favorite, even at home.
Okay, it's a little Coastal action for Connor here. Did you also were you going to look to make both of those official under in Coastal or either one?
Just Coastal, yeah. Give me 8 +8 -108.
All right, Coastal Carolina +8 -108 there. Shout out to you, Connor. Let's keep the pace rolling here. Morgan, I can't wait to talk about that game. You're bringing good action or good knowledge to that game, so keep that shit up, Morgan Spooner. Butler versus Providence here. We are no longer at the dunk, but we are still at Providence here. Shout out to Nasty Nate, wherever you may be. Now, let's talk about a 2.5-point favorite here in Providence here. We have 75% of the bets on Providence, but only 51% of the money on them. So seemingly bigger bets on the Bulldogs here. 62% of the money and 60% of the bets on the under in this game. Kind of a rare occurrence. At least I think it's a rare occurrence. Not many people betting unders here. The spread opened up at 3. We're down to 2.5 now for Butler. So very interesting that sharp money, maybe bringing it down a 0.5 point there, but not too much movement. And a 138 total is now 136. We're seeing some 137s, 136.5 there, but 136 available to bet here with 60% of the bets, 62% of the money on the under here. Now, Connor, I'm interested to hear your take because, by the way, it's the Amica Mutual Pavilion now. I forget what it was called before the dunk, after the dunk. It was like the AMP. Now we're changing it to the Amica Mutual Pavilion. All of these things are gross, and both of these teams are on big losing streaks. Butler, at least a 5-game losing streak, 0-5 their last 5. And Providence, the only team they've beaten in their last 5, Old DePaul. Lose to UConn 84-87, lose to Marquette in big fashion, lose to St. John's, and lose to the St. Bonnies, the Fighting Wojciechowskis over there. So it's a tough game, Connor. What do you have to say about this one?
Yeah, this Butler team lost 7 straight, Jose. That's even more than 5 there. And in that last game, it shows how this team is not very good because it was just the worst off night for St. John's. And I mean, they still lose that game by 7 or 8 points. They only shot 39%, 35 from 3, which is better, but only 45% from the line, 9 of 20. And in that game, St. John's was a little bit better from the inside. I had it here, but they were 1 for 21 from 3. And their field goal is 26-71. so more shots up. But ugly game, anyways. And that's been their problem. The defense has got more leaky here for Butler, and when then they're not able to score, they are fucked. And Providence on the other side here, 4 straight losses. They are to better teams. These home losses I thought were tight, St. Bonaventure and St. John's, and they get blown out by Marquette. This isn't the same problem. Then they go on the road and play better against UConn. This isn't the same, Providence team of years past. And of course, with Hopkins really just not in the lineup much at all this year, so it's tough for them. But I think it's their spot. This was a strong lean for me. I'd be on Providence. I thought you could look at this first half or full game. I think you want to look at Butler. Well, they might play decent here. I want to get back to them maybe at home against a more of a 500 team, to back them. So lean on Providence.
Lean on Providence. And you guys are right. The Juice mentioning as well that it's a tough schedule there for Prov here, coming back home, losing at UConn by a few points, losing to the Johnnies by 2 and St. Bonnie's by 4. Excuse me. Excuse me. Had to get that one out. But losing to those games aren't too, I guess, backbreaking is the word.
This one's close for me because I got a decent amount of bets. So this one's like hanging there. That might move.
All right. And by the way, good note here by Morgan saying Butler 0-3 in true road game environments, and the Dunk is the toughest environment of them all. Providence on his card there. Good notes, Morgan. Thank you, the Juice. Let's go to our next game. 2 shitbum universities, Connor. Rice versus the shittiest of them all, right behind Texas State. North Texas here. 10.5-point favorites. I respect their basketball program. I went to North Texas, Connor, for a football game that I hope that I never remember. And I saw with my own 2 eyes the Super Pit. And I said, wow, look at that. That's where all of UTSA's basketball dreams come to die. And UNT is not a bad basketball team at all. 10-4 this year. For those who aren't keeping track, their only loss in their last 5 against a good Memphis squad, 68-64. If you ask Dabby Cab and most other people, they'll tell you that Memphis is a solid crew with Penny and company, so can't really knock them too bad. 10.5-point favorites against Rice, who I respect Rice right now. 11-4 overall, 2-0 in the conference. They beat Charlotte and Tulsa. Not too impressive, but sure. Maybe their inflated record is due to them playing the likes of Prairie View A&M, Alcorn State, Arkansas State, Houston Christian, FIU they started their season with. I mean, it's not like they're playing too impressive people. And they also lost to UNT Dallas, 69-68, offshoot UNT. So there's just no shot I would back the Rice Owls here. I'm interested to see what you have to say, Connor. Market in this game, and let's see where the Rice bettors are. 78% of the bets, 62% of the money on North Texas, and 78% of the bets and money on the over in this game. Total opened up at 124. Now we're seeing 123.5, 124.5. It's kind of back and forth there. And for the spread, which I'm interested in, 11.5, now down to 11, now down to 10.5 at some places here as well. Connor, it seems as if the market is trying to say that Rice is going to be in this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's the only way to look at this game as well. This total's gone down, low here too. Of course, I love an under with North Texas, but man, they can be sweaty sometimes, even the first half when you take them. But that's where I think this game is close. The success Rice has had that peaks this dude, because I was on North Texas against Memphis. Of course, Memphis playing big numbers, they don't cover. It just happens. With them, and North Texas has a dog because of this defense. That's where you want them. Now, when they lay numbers like this, They've been better. It's been kind of hit and miss with him. They have covered some numbers like this, this year and last year. They're kind of 500. But can Rice, when they played well, they're already 3-1 on the road. Can they get to the foul line? Like when they beat Arkansas State, decent basketball team, they got to the foul line 39 times, 32 of them. I don't think that happens here, against a North Texas team that's just not going to commit that many fouls. But I think they're in this game because Rice's defense is pretty good. I mean, they're not great, and some of these wins aren't there, but I think they can hang in this game. So this was just I wanted to go over it. I think it's a pretty strong lean. It might not be easy, but I think the points are valuable here. So I was leaning there in the under in this game.
I think I'm going to jump on Rice here. 10.5 here. Like you said,
get an 11.
Total. Yes, I would love the 11 here. That would be fantastic. But low total, like super low total. I mean, I shouldn't say super low, but you guys get it. Low total, a lot of points. The market kind of moving towards Rice here. More bets and everything on UNT, and still we're going that direction. So I will be on Rice here as well. Let
me find if I can find the 11 here. Low juice. I want to be on it. Let me look around.
I'm looking as well here just to make sure, but I am going to be on Rice here, plus 11, plus 10.5. We will see what we get from that. And I'll look at that later. Good note, by the way, that Jake Burns saying the SEC has officials that were fired from the NBA for fixing games. Very interesting note there.
Of course.
And well, let's go to our next game, and the game I want to talk about very intimately here. Morgan, you've had great comments on this all day, so if you can, just drop them in here again here. But let's start with Morgan's comments here and saying Nova has the most experienced guard in this game. If this comes down to 2 possession, it's hard to beat Eric Dixon. UConn looked bad versus Providence. Caravan was getting exposed defensively every game, or every possession, I should say. And I believe he mentioned that old Caravan is out in this game here as well. Morgan, I started the comment, I believe, and I have to go look and find it here. But
I think he's in. It's
who's out?
McNeely's out. McNeely's out.
So there we go. Sorry, Morgan, I'm getting twisted here. But out an injury for UConn here, one of their guys. And again, I sit here, I lost on the unranked or lower ranked team being favored against the ranked team earlier in this week, or I think it was last week. I lost on that. It's not going to go 100%, guys, but I still think I just kind of have to blindly bet unranked team versus ranked team every time, and I'll roll my dice every time and see how it goes. Villanova, I mean, their coach, not a good one, Connor. They have not been a good program since Jay Wright has left, and now they're favored over the back-to-back national champions. And I get it, there's an injury, but still, give me Villanova here, minus 1.5 here. Let's go to the market so I can be even more confident, hopefully, with, I'm going to guess, okay, that's okay, 69% of the bets on UConn, unsurprising, but bigger bets on Villanova. 49% of the bets are on Villanova. And wow, actually, this just changed right in front of my face as I was saying it, Connor. 79% of the bets now on UConn. 63% of the money on UConn. 14,000 tickets in, so I'm glad that updated there. We are getting, like I just said, live ticket updates and such, so that's very helpful here. But opening up at UConn -1, now we're at -1.5 Villanova. I mean, how are we not on Villanova here, Connor?
Yeah, they're the side here in this game. Billy just put, it's easy to take this, I think, too, this total. I wish it was, a little bit lower, but both these teams have been going over a ton, especially Villanova. I mean, I worry the shooting's going to go down a little bit. This team's been just shooting the ball like crazy. This Nova team, they've been really, really good all year long. I mean, second, almost 42% from 3, 41.5. And of course, we know the free throw is always good there. At least that's carried over now with Neptune. there. No McNeely for UConn. They haven't been really the same. They've won, 8 in a row as well, starting to look better and kind of beat up on some of the DePaul's and Butler's game that they should win. But yeah, for me, this is Nova or nothing and lean over.
Agreed. It's Nova or nothing for me. I'm going to be on Villanova. And by the way, to the person I just gave a sussy to, come back with a non-anti-Semitic name, and we will allow you into the chat. And don't make fun of one of our cappers as well. So there we go. I'm on Villanova here. I agree. I will bet this most every time. Again, it's not going to win 100% of the time, but there will be moments like Florida beating the dog shit at Tennessee yesterday, and they were favored by I don't know how much already, but just one of these things that I think I have to bet. So Villanova -1.5. Official for me here, Connor. You said you were interested in the side here as well. So I was too busy giving someone a sussy, and I didn't hear you.
Who's this guy? Who's this sussy here? Whatever you fucking talking about.
I had to give a guy a suspension in the chat for having a questionable name in there. So I just gave him the heave ho, and I'm letting him.
What did he say?
It's just I don't want to say his name. It's semi-anti-Semitic, and I don't want to go into it. So
sounds good. Bounce him.
Yeah, but yeah, you were interested in the total in this game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is I'll hold off for me here.
Okay, nothing for Connor here. I'm on Villanova. I'm going to be on Villanova, I should say. So let's roll on into our next game. And Connor, I'm sure this is one of the games that you saw on the list. You're like, what the fuck are we doing talking about DePaul basketball? DePaul, Seton Hall. Shout out to Shaheen. I mean, he got his dream job, I guess, and now he's only 3-point favorite against a disgusting DePaul basketball team at home. Now, Connor, I'll admit I do not keep up with DePaul basketball all too much. I just know they're the basement dweller of the Big East, but only being a 3-point favorite against this DePaul team threw my red flags up. I was like, okay, is Seton Hall really this bad? Now, for their sake, was a 2.5, opened at a 3 here. So that gives them I guess some kind of credit, but 74% of the bets, 90% of the money on the Hall here. Again, only a 0.5% movement. It threw my red flags up. Total here, 71% of the bets and money on the under in this game. And let me see where we've moved in the under kind of game. 48 opener. Oh, that's Villanova I'm actually looking at. I should be looking at DePaul here. 133.5, now down to 133, seeing a 132.5 as well. So yeah, I kind of leaned DePaul here, Connor. I was interested to hear your take on this. Is a semi-sus line to me.
It is, man. Both these teams suck. This is one shitty game. Seton Hall desperately needs a win. I think what they've lost 6 straight. Hold on here. Or 5 straight. 5 straight. 6 of 7. They need to win bad. This is the team you can get it against, I think, DePaul. You know what I look at this? When I look at Seton Hall, I want to take an under. But DePaul's been going over, and their numbers are normally, mid 145s. That's how bad their defense is. So I think you look at Seton Hall, a team that even lately has scored a little bit more. They haven't been great. But they've gotten a lot better. And some of these games, they've been a little bit more efficient offensively as Seton Hall. So when I looked at this, I kind of actually lean over, which is wild to say in the Seton Hall game. And if you look at Seton Hall, I would just take their team total here if you don't want to lay the 3.5.
No, and the chat coming in saying this is a Seton Hall spot, so I'll stay off here. So thank you guys. Morgan Spooner, again, thank you for your comments here saying Seton Hall smash spot. Chris Holtman couldn't win a 50-50 game to save his life. Holtman has won just one conference road game since December 2022. And he just reminding us, just to be clear, everyone, it's January 2025 right now. It's been a long-ass time since Holt has won a road game in conference here. So I'll stay off Thank you guys. Want to talk it out with you guys. Appreciate that one. Bama, South Kakalaki up here. Why is it Kakalaki? I don't know. I'm interested. I might have to do some Googling on the origins of South Kakalaki, but it's a rare time now, Connor. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like a long time ago at this point where it was a very difficult thing to be a very good basketball school and a dominant football school as well. And Alabama's trying to walk the tightrope. They're giving up some football supremacy, it seems, but their basketball team is solid. 10.5-point favorites against a Gamecocks team that's 10-4 this year. And this is, Connor, correct me if I'm wrong, the SEC is by far the best conference in college basketball here. And I was a little surprised to see a 10.5-point favorite on the road here. I think South Carolina could at least keep this game close. Market in this game. Let's find out where the people are betting right now. Right now, we've got 45% of the bets and 71% of the money on South Carolina here. Sharp action on them here. 66% of the bets and money on the under. If you guys are interested in money line bets as well, only 2% of the bets and 5% of the money on South Carolina. So there you go for that one. But I'm interested in South Carolina here. Connor, I want to hear your thoughts on this game, and obviously people in the chat, let me know what you guys think here. I have an opener at 159, now down to 156, by the way, here as well. And for the spread, 10, now 10.5 here. So what do you think?
Yeah, this Alabama team, huge win at home. I mean, when they get rolling and are hitting shots, it's they can just beat down a team in Oklahoma couldn't hit nothing, and we're due for a loss in that game. And Alabama's owned the South Carolina team, and I think they beat them 9 straight times. And I think this happens here tonight. Alabama wins this game. It's kind of like the last couple of years, but it's close. You know, I don't think they get out of here with a double-digit win. And one thing is the defense. This is a similar team. While they're better than like North Carolina, they still are sloppy. I don't love their defense at all. And if the threes are dropping, you know, it could get stagnant. Then you really got to focus just on Sears kind of doing everything for Bama. And the South Carolina team, not the best, but they're scrappy. And they just got their fucking ass kicked. That's why I love it, Jose. They just got blown the fuck out by 35 fucking points. Come back home where everything feels better. So I'll take the 10.5 here. South Carolina. Even first half, this could be a good look with South Carolina.
All right, stupid question for you here, Connor. Is South Carolina's coach still Frank Martin?
Yeah, he's still there, right?
I don't know. That was a serious
No, he
question.
left. No, he left, I think.
Because I remember the last time I remember South Carolina was Frank Martin taking them to the Final Four here. So that's a serious question that I did not know.
No, he's
retired. It's been a while at this point. But yeah, I'm going to take the 10.5 with you, Connor. I just think that South Carolina. I honestly
it's
think
Paris now. Lamont Paris.
Okay, thank you. See,
I try to keep. Man, there's a lot of head coaches in college basketball.
Fuck yeah, there is. That's why. That's a serious.
Well, I try. I mean, yeah.
But I'm going to be on the 10.5 with you here. I think, honestly, I didn't even know he's at UMass the Juice. He's still coaching? Good Lord.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah.
Frank Martin. Good Lord, man. But 10.5 for me on South Carolina.
There's some bad coaches. I thought we were going to talk about some of these teams. They're just bad. Colorado, UCF, I thought we were going to go over that game. UCF's been up and down with Dawkins.
UCF is Justin McKelvey's stacks play of the day. Actually, it's UCF.
Hopefully they come through. I can't really figure them out. They've been so up and down.
Yeah, 5.5 there. So shout out to you, Justin McKelvey. We wish you luck on that one. We mentioned this game earlier. Billy Brisbane likes it. He's on the Fighting Calpaparis here, and I mean this falls right into my wheelhouse of ranked team on the road, unranked team favored. Now it's the number 23 team in the nation. You could tell me that Arkansas is like the 30th team in the nation. I'd believe you. They're probably right outside the bubble. This is the SEC. All these teams are really good. But I'm going to be on Arkansas here. I'm going to be on Arkansas. They're ranked over a favored team here, or sorry, they're favored over a ranked team there. And again, I will continue to take that angle no matter what here. The issue here with taking it is public. So this is the scary one here of the two. 74% of the bets, 93% of the money on Arkansas here. Total 67% of the bets, 68% of the money on the under here. And where did this line open up at? I'm very interested to see that. A 3. Now we're seeing 4s actually on the board. So interesting. It makes me feel a lot better when I'm betting a public side like this. I need the line to at least move a point to make me feel like, okay, at least we're going in the right direction here. Total opened at 147, now 149 and a half, seeing some 148 and a half as well. So interesting. I will be on Arkansas here. Mike, I just looked in the chat and I saw BJ is on Arkansas here as well. So that's very interesting. Shout out to Preston. We were just talking about you earlier, Preston, in the NBA. So shout out to you. It's a great promo offer today on FanDuel only. They're offering 2 25% boosts or 1 50% boost. And he recommends the 50% boost there. So shout out to you, Preston. I like Arkansas here. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, I do too. I mean, this is the spot for them. I think everyone sees that as well after getting their ass kicked at Tennessee, which is, teams regularly do that. This is just a tough place to play. It seems like they always have bad shooting nights there. One thing, though, with Ole Miss, I think Calipari has these guys ready. And one thing with Chris Beard, on a neutral or even on the road, his teams come to play, and I think that's the lone thing. And I think just overall, they are the better team. Here's Ole Miss. But the spot just isn't great. They've really been rolling, too. They did just lose, of course, at Memphis. Kind of their worst game, I think, all year. The neutrals, they barely lost to Purdue, beat Louisville. And then Georgia just couldn't even – they were talking about a bad shooting night the other night. I mean, they were horrible. They won 63-51. And I think probably right now, too, the Ole Miss defense is a little bit better. But – yeah, Arkansas at home. This is definitely the spot for him. I can see why everyone loves it.
I'm ready for Coach Cal to disappoint me once again. Morgan Spooner saying Arkansas is too square. I like Ole Miss to step up tonight. Chris Beard is better as a dog. And by the way, Billy Friedrich also mentioning here, Arkansas 3-5 ATS at home. Everybody's on the Hogs. I can only bet Ole Miss here. I understand. I definitely
get it too. Like if this drifts more, this is like college basketball. I'll look the other way. I have no problem. You got to have enough, and we haven't seen it in some of these smaller schools that play more road games, but a lot of these teams just haven't played. I mean, they have these big games on these these tournaments. So you kind of figure it out, but you got to go off what we just talked about with Chris Beard, just how he's been so good as a dog and on the road and on neutrals. They could keep this close.
I'm going to be watching this game. It'll be a good one. I'm on Arkansas. It's not my best bet of the day. And again, it's not my favorite unranked team over a ranked team kind of spot here. Obviously, that's Villanova.
I mean, that's tough to say. Arkansas is right there here in the rankings.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. You could tell me Arkansas is 30th, and I believe you. So
they're even higher than that. Some of these, I think, they're 25.
So yeah, you could tell me they're right there. So I believe it, but I'll fucking trust you, Coach Calipari. I'm trusting you, Cal. You son of a bitch. Come through for us here. Make Jerry Jones happy. He sent you all that money, Cal. Just win this game and make Jerry Jones happy. You son of a bitch. All right, 2 more games. Actually, 3 more games coming up here. NC State, Notre Dame, ACC battle here. People forget Notre Dame in the ACC in basketball. I am people when I say that. NC State Wolfpack here, 2.5-point favorites here. Market in this game, fascinating 50-50 ticket split when it comes to bets on the side, but 80% of the money on Notre Dame. So big bets seemingly on Notre Dame here. Now, maybe some of those big donkey whales have taken a second from betting Notre Dame football and man, let's bet some Notre Dame basketball. Who knows? But very interesting. 80% of the money on them. 3 was the opener. We're down to 2.5 at some places here as well. You can get a juice 3 at other places here. Connor, I mean, the market again, the bigger bets on Notre Dame makes me lean Notre Dame. We've got the 2.5s. Want to hear your expert opinion here, but Notre Dame was a play I looked with side eyes.
Yeah, I can't take anything in this basketball game. These teams, Notre Dame had one of their best game, a better game, against North Carolina. At least they covered. I think that was a decent spot. They've been just so up and down scoring this year. One thing too, both these teams are pretty slow. The defense isn't great for Notre Dame too. They've just been hit and miss, but they're 272 in the country. And NC State playing a lot more to the under, and the offense has been great. They're 325 there. So that's why I think we've got this under 140. I kind of lean under still. I just don't think there was a ton of value in this spot. And this seems like if you're going to take it, there's just not enough trust. I take NC State here at home. It gets to kind of a team that they're level with. They could get a win. And I don't trust Notre Dame.
Okay. I'll stay off here as well, but lean, agree, was Notre Dame here, plus 2.5 points. I'll be tracking this one to see how it does tonight. Won't have my money on it, though. 2 games left, one against 2 ranked squads, and this one, a mid-major factory here. Drake versus Bradley here. Now, Drake kind of hitting the shits here, Connor, and not because the rapper got body bag and put into a locker last year. Nay. It's because the Drake Bulldogs, once upon a time, were one of the last undefeated teams in basketball, and now they have lost 2 straight. They kind of got body bagged by Murray State, 7-point loss. They lose to UIC by 4. Both conference games, too, which makes it even worse, those losses. And now they're facing Bradley, 4-0 in conference. It's funny. I don't know. I want to call them a powerhouse, but it feels like Drake and Bradley kind of alternate tournament appearances in this conference. But it seems as if the Drake hot streak has ended here. Now, wanted to talk to you about this game because we all know that you are the king of the mid-majors here. Also, the Drake Bulldogs are getting bet pretty heavily here. 47% of the bets, but 75% of the money on Drake here. So seemingly sharp action on them. We have a opener of 2.5, now down to 2 here. So kind of, again, a similar spot to Notre Dame market-wise. Kind of why I put them both on the card. About the same amount of tickets on the side. Bigger bets on it, though. Line moves a 0.5 point in the direction. Connor, what do you think?
This one's tough here. Bradley, they've been good, definitely shooting the ball. They've been excellent. And when I think of this game, can they have one more decent night here? Drake does have some good numbers defensively. And one thing, Drake, all of a sudden this team is slow. 361, and they've been going under. Jose, they're 4-8. They've just been holding the ball half court. They just don't get up and down like they used to in the past. When I looked at this, Bradley, at least at home, has been able to score. So I thought this total was too low. I looked at either Bradley's team total, I think could get over, or just this game being at 125 was just way too light. I worry about Drake bringing this down, but I think Bradley kind of, at least in the game, their last one, 69-60. I mean, this might not be the easiest one, but I think this game gets over. I think this is just way too light of a total here. So let me find the best number. I want this over.
A little over action for Connor. By the way, shout out to Just My 2 cents in here as well. 2 cents. Nice to see you. My spicy little potato there. Shout out to him. I just had to bounce one of your doppelgangers 2 cents. So it's nice to see that the people are getting and loving some 2 cents. So nice to see you. 2 cents. I'm going to track again. This will be the same thing for Notre Dame for me. I'm going to watch this game, keep an eye on it, and see how Drake and Notre Dame both do. Both 2.5-point dogs. Again, both similar tickets, bigger bets on them. Line going the other way or going their direction, about a half point. I'm interested. We'll watch. We'll see. I'm not going to put my hard-earned cash on it right now, but I am interested. Last game on our slate here, Connor. It's always fun talking college basketball with you. I appreciate it. We've got 2 more games after this one. We've got both semi-final college football games. Wine Time Sports will be joining us to chat those games. He is champing at the bit to talk. Not chomping, champing at the bit to talk about those games. But I'm champing to talk about this game. Oklahoma versus Texas A&M here. Billy Brisbane talked about this game earlier. Likes an under. Likes the Texas A&M team total under. Connor, we've mentioned it briefly. I'll just mention that the markets in this game, and this is obviously a fun game that I'm sure people are going to be betting quite heavily here. Only 8,000 tickets in here, but 60% of the bet, 66% of the money on Oklahoma here, and 64 and 65% of the bets and money on the under here. We opened up at, let me see here where we opened at, 2.5 here, and now we're at 3. So kind of a interesting movement, but not much movement on it anyways. Connor, it's a fun game. What do you think?
Yeah, when I look at A&M, I think you can look at the under. That's where I want to back them. Oklahoma's been going over, a ton. And you got to think, after getting drilled and giving up 107 points, taking their first loss, the defense will be better. So this is definitely a game where I looked at the under. But I think it's just going to be a spot where Oklahoma's focused here. This line's already moved. A&M, too. There's no Taylor in this game, right? I just saw that 3 hours ago.
People in the chat have been mentioning that as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So give me off the hop, give me Oklahoma here, first half, -1.5. I think it's the best number.
First half here for Connor. I don't feel like I ever get to see you making a lot of first half bets. What an interesting bet here.
I don't make a ton, but I make some.
Yeah, 1.5 here, first half. What was the odds there? The odds, excuse me.
1.5, -110.
-1.
I want them early here and often. I think they play better. They shot the ball horrible against Bama. I think they're a lot sharper here. And not against, A&M's good here, and their defense could keep them in it. But I'll take them.
Billy Friedrich, by the way, giving you some props. Connor saying going to add Bradley over 126.5. Great call, C-Mac. These 2 teams combined are 19-7 to the over of 126.5. There. Good note.
I'm going to see if we'll get to it at the end. I got a 124.5, but it's -112. We might stick with that because that's the best number I can get, I think. So I'll let you know here in that game.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. 124.5 there. We'll go over that in a second. Actually, we'll go over it right now because I've got nothing on this game. I'm not going to move on it. I do like the under, and I will stay leaning in that direction. But let's recap our college basketball action here, Connor. I'll kick it off here, and I'll mention some of yours here as well. I probably have missed some, but Connor, we started off with Coastal Carolina +8 -108. Providence -2.5 here. I realize I don't have odds for all of these, so I'll need to grab those from you at some point. But Providence -2.5. We're both going to be on Rice +10.5 here. I am on Villanova -1.5.
Yeah, 11s. Get 11.
11.
There are 11s
right?
everywhere.
I forgot.
Just letting you know.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Villanova, I'm going to be on -1.5. Connor, did you have anything on that game?
Not yet. I haven't moved on Nova. Not yet.
Nothing yet. The Paul Seton Hall pass for us here. We're both going to be on South Carolina +10.5 there as well. We both are going to be on Arkansas -3.5 here as well. Billy Brisbane also on Arkansas minus 3.5. I've leaned towards Notre Dame and Drake both plus 2.5. Connor on the 124.5 there. Was that correct there, Connor?
Yeah, minus 112.
Minus 112 there. And Connor ending in his card on OU first half minus 1.5, minus 110 there. Beautiful. Any other action that you had in there, Connor?
Nope, that's it. Just we talked about Nova. Really.
Okay. Beautiful. I
think that's
appreciate it there. Let's switch gears here. We've got 2 more games left, and they are 2 massive games here. Cannot wait to talk about them, and let's talk to our next guest who, like I said earlier, was champing at the bit, ready to take down these games, the big money games, the big money matchups, and let's call them in. Big Money Wine Time Sports joining the program. Wine, nice to see you. We have massive games to break down. How are you doing?
I'm good, Jose. Good to see you. Good to see you, C-Mac. Happy New Year to you guys.
What up?
Ready to get back at it with you, Jose. Yeah, I've been chomping at the bit. Talk about these games, man. I haven't talked about these games yet on air with anyone yet, so I'm excited to get to it. We got some plays in these games, and I also want to move on a play in this first game that I haven't moved on yet. I want to talk to you guys about it on screen, talk to C-Mac, talk to everyone in the chat, see where they're at on it. But let's give a quick shout out to the chat. I see my bro in there, Troy Torrance, Justin, Rick J, Kong's Clip, Billy Friedrich, Morgan Spooner. Good to see you guys. Thoughts and prayers to everyone. It's in the LA region that's going through those fires right now. It's bad. I'm glad I'm not out there right now. I'm about an hour and a half away from there, but I'm hoping that they can get that taken care of soon. I know some people that live out there that have already lost their houses. Friends, kids, school got burnt down today. Pretty crazy, man. Scary stuff out there. So prayers to everyone that's going through that stuff.
Yep. Shout out to all the firefighters grinding away at these fires as well. Can only imagine what the West Coast and everything is going on right now. So I'm glad that you are all right, Wine Time, and I'm glad you are away from all of that as well. So, and again, if anyone in the chat's being affected by that, we're thinking about you guys as well. But let's get into these football games here. A little distraction from the real world here. And let's talk about, I think, the most popular of the 2 games here. Notre Dame, Penn State here. Now, Wine Time, I find this game to be absolutely hilarious. These are 2 programs that are synonymous for blowing it. 2 programs that not really national title contenders. They like to say they are every year. And every year that comes to a point where they get disappointed. And look at how far they have come. Now, were their paths pretty easy? Yeah. Penn State beating a shitty SMU team. Whatever. Notre Dame beating Georgia with their backup quarterback. I guess. But it's an interesting game here. I have gone into this game going back and forth thinking, like, do I want to trust James Franklin, Drew Allard? And I've kind of fallen the side that I do. I haven't bet this game yet, and that's why I'm glad that I get to talk all these things out with you guys in the chat. Like I saw our guy Kong's Clips, who, not a big deal, was over 100 units in the profit for college football this year, saying I put 4 units on Notre Dame minus 1.5 here. So that's why I'm like, okay. Does that really make me want to bet Penn State? Not really. But I came into this game thinking, this could be the day that Penn State gets over the hump here. But I struggled with this game. I really did. Let's talk about the markets here, and I'll pass it off to you, Wine, because, again, I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say. Opened up at minus 1.5, and I saw Nasty Nate say it. Ones basically all across the board now. So slight movement, but an interesting one with all of this action on these games, I'm sure. Let's switch to NCAA football here. We have 39,000 tickets in, 61% of the bets, 64% of the money on Notre Dame here. Total 73% of the bets, 63% of the total money is all on the over. Yeah, I still like Penn State. I'm not going to lie. I still do, and I'm probably not going to bet it. I don't want to go head-to-head against Congress Clips here. I respect them too much, but Penn State was an interesting side, and I considered taking them plus 1.5, money line, etc. Wine, you dominated the college football season this year. I'm interested to hear your take. You're 60% on the season, the regular season. Now tell us, Wine, what do you think about this game? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, shout out to both these head coaches for getting them this far, man. Especially shout out to Marcus Freeman over there. He's been cashing his tickets over there. We were on Notre Dame last time. I was actually on both of these teams in their matchups last week. Played well, just as I thought they would. Notre Dame, man, having a really good season. You know, they had that one hiccup against Northern Illinois that my guy DJ Big Boss was at. Little hiccup along the road. That's what happens sometimes, especially in today's modern day college football. We only saw one team really go undefeated, and we saw them get blown out last week after getting a month off in Oregon. So it just shows you how tough it is to win. Yeah, despite Notre Dame not having the toughest schedule, still went into Texas A&M, I believe, in the opener and took care of business there. So still a really good team over there. And, man, he's 38 years old. He inherits his team as a 35-year-old coordinator after Brian Kelly takes off to LSU. This guy's completely turned the culture honestly in the right direction from Brian Kelly. This guy's done a better job in his year 3, and this guy's only 38 years old. Can only imagine what he's got going for him. And it's his staff, man. It's their D coordinator, Al Golden, man. This guy's got NFL experience. He's a D coordinator at LSU before he came over here. Switch head coaches, I guess you could say. He's done a really good job these last couple of years, especially this season. Notre Dame, really good defensive line, really good defense out there. That's what they like to do. They like to run the ball, and they like to play good defense. I assume that's what they're going to do in this game, as they have been all season. Jeremiah Love, question anyone in the chat. I mean, I know he's been banged up last week. You know, we saw him kind of go out. We saw Price come in, the backup, who's also really talented, really explosive as well. But Jeremiah Love, he's been kind of like the do-it-all back this season. He's the kind of guy that can get you a 60-yard rushing touchdown just like that in the blink of an eye. The guy's fast once he hits that hole. He's patient. He's got speed. Like I said, I do think he's going to be playing this one. I do think he's going to get a little banged. He is a little banged up in this one, but like Marcus Freeman said in the press conference, who isn't banged up in week, 15, 16 in college football? It's just nuts, guys. We've never seen a team play this many games in college football, and we're slowly starting to see it. With that being said, Riley Leonard playing some big-time ball right now. They're not asking him to do too much. They haven't asked him to do too much all season long except make the simple throws and take off with the ball. He's honestly better with the ball in his hands. I believe his average yard of pass is like 5.2 yards a pass. So he's not trying to throw the ball downfield. That's what Notre Dame likes to do. They like to run the ball, play smart, and ask Riley Leonard not to turn the ball over. He's been successful at that all season long. Now we're going into Penn State, man. Team, I'm kind of like, you know, I'm not going to lie. I kind of downplayed on all season long on these shows. I came in, I faded them on several occasions, won cash on them despite them still winning the ball game. This team is coming together. Coach Koldenicki coming in over from the Kansas OC. Big step up for him getting this Penn State job. And Drew Aller, man, this guy's getting a lot of national attention, especially from the NFL right now. This guy's been making a lot of big-time throws in these college football playoffs. Really impressed by he's been playing. I think he's just locked into this Koldenicki offense. Like I said, 14, 15 games in, eventually things are going to start clicking. And that's what's happening right now with this Penn State offense. I mean, they went head-to-head with Oregon, had a chance to win that game on the final possession. Drew Aller threw a pick on a 50-50 ball. It happens. But since then, man, it's Penn State defense. We saw them against SMU, 2 pick sixes right off the bat, put SMU in a hole that they didn't want to get in. And what did Penn State do? Not turn the ball over, not force too much down the field, put the ball in the hands of their playmakers. They've got Singleton. They've got Katron Allen. These two are 2 NFL running backs. You put the ball in their hands, they could take off with it too. Really interesting because both these teams have some really good running backs that are going to both be playing in the NFL. All 3 of these guys, Katron Allen and Singleton from Penn State, Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, probably Price as well, but he's got a couple years left, I believe. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a really good matchup between Koldenicki and Al Golden. I think it's going to be a really good matchup between those 2 coordinators. Penn State, I think they have the advantage against anyone in the country when it comes to their assistant coaches. Their assistant coach, Coach Koldenicki, he's going to be a head coach for probably an SEC or a Big Ten program here in the next year or 2. And then you got Tom Allen. He came over from Indiana last year as the head coach there. He didn't do too well as a head coach over there, but he's kind of humbled himself a little bit, becoming the DC. And this team believes in him, and this defense is showing up every single game. That's what's kind of been keeping them in a lot of these games. Their defense, we saw what they did against SMU. Saw what they did last week. This Penn State team, this is a good team, guys. This is one of the best teams in the nation. I'm not going to downplay them anymore. They definitely deserve to be here. With that being said, man, I'm going under. This is an under 46. I got in last night at the minus 115. You can probably get a 45.5. You can still get a 46, I believe, at some spots right now. I just bought up a little bit, if I'm being completely honest. But 45.5, I still like the number there. I think both these teams are going to run the ball and they're going to play conservative football, and they're not going to go for it on these fourth and shorts. They're going to punt the ball away. They're going to kick field goals. And I think this is going to be low scoring, and both defenses are going to show up. Don't get me wrong. This game could go to OT. I think that's the only way this game goes over. If this is tied at the end of regulation, they go to OT. That being said, I'm not going to count on that happening. I'm really leaning towards the Penn State side as well, Jose. I want Penn State big time right now at the +1. I honestly want them on the money line because I think they're the better team. I think they have the advantage at the quarterback position and the running back position if Jeremiah Love is banged up, just depending on how he plays and how he looks out there. So with that being said, I'm on the under 46 minus 115. Lock me in. I might end up getting on Penn State plus the 1 and the money line. But as of right now, I'm on the under.
Under for Wine Time Sports. Now, our guy Troy Torrance, shout out to you. Troy's in the chat asking about Penn State defensive end Abdul Carter, who will most likely, I can tell you right now, he has New York Jet written all over him. And is a top 5, top 10 pick here. It's early. I don't know, Wine, if you have information on Abdul Carter and maybe if he's going to play. I think it's still early for us to know, unfortunately. I think they're going to keep it close to the vest as much as possible until the very last moment. But my suspicion is that he does play. He went out early with a left arm or shoulder injury, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if he strapped it on and tried to play.
Yeah, if it's not a season-ending injury, he should be playing in this one. He's not going to sit out this matchup if it's not season ending. I know he's a top 5, top 10 projected pick, but this is a big game, and I think he's going to show up for his team if they need him. And if he's ready to go, he's going to go. This is season ending. Yeah, you can't force him to go, and they might be keeping this under wraps. And by game time, he's not going to be dressed out. We'll see on that. I mean, this defensive line from Penn State, even without him, man, it's still elite. I mean, they always put a safety in the box. We saw what they did against Boise yesterday. They trust their corners in one-on-one coverage, and that's what they're going to do. Then they're going to put a safety in the box to stop Jeremiah Love. So it's going to be interesting to see for sure. I trust this Penn State defense, even if he's not in there. Like I said, I trust Tom Allen most of all. I believe in what he does as a D coordinator. I don't think he's the best head coach, but you give him one thing to worry about, one side of the ball, and he can do that for you. And these kids have definitely bought into a system. It's one of the best defenses in the nation. So, I mean, Notre Dame, though, keep this little side note right here, guys. They're averaging 6.1 yards per carry. That's second in the nation. So, like I said, it's going to be a good matchup between both coordinators on both sides. Really, it's going to be a good one. I'm excited for this one. This is a coin flip. It's whoever you think's the better team, honestly. And if you're going to ask me, I think Penn State might be the better team. I haven't moved on it yet, guys, but I'm most likely will be on Penn State before kickoff.
Penn State for Wine. Love the under. People are saying in the chat. Our guy Kongs, who's on Notre Dame, saying, I absolutely love the other Wine time. This Notre Dame defense is amazing. I still believe it's undervalued here. Our guy Troy Torrance likes Notre Dame. Rick J dropping some field goal props here as well. So it's a good one. Anonymous, no problem. I will read the cash splits again for you. It's 39,000 bets in, 61% of the bets, 64% of the money on Notre Dame there. And as for the total, 73% of the bets and 63% of the money on the under in this game. And like I said earlier,
to add on this as well, Jose, the market and these kind of matchups, I'm not looking at the market too heavy in this one.
Mm-hmm.
If I was looking at it, I would think Penn State's probably the sharper side. But when it comes down to these last couple of games, it's really who you believe is the better team, who has the better edge in these certain situations, who's playing and who's not. Like I said, Jeremiah Love plays. Maybe that's why this line went to a +1. Maybe he's not going to be 100%. I know he's not going to be 100%, but even if he's 80, 90%, still really good running back. We see him hit those holes, and he's really explosive. So this is going to be a fun one, man. I'm looking forward to this for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game, to say the least here. So I'll be on something here. I don't know what yet. I think I'm leaning towards the under with you guys. We'll probably be on the under here, but nothing for me official right now here. So we'll roll on to our next game here. And that was a good breakdown by everyone. Thank you to chat. Appreciate you guys. Let's go to game 2. Ohio State versus Texas here. And, it's not surprising all the Ohio State love here. The Michigan game has, again, completely changed them, I guess. Everyone has heard that narrative 1,000 times at this point. Defense has been phenomenal. But I don't know, man. I still have my guard up with Ohio State, honestly, and Ryan Day. It seems like he could beat anyone not wearing Michigan uniforms, I guess, which is kind of funny. 64% of the money, 64% of the bets, 69% of the money on Ohio State here with 40,000 tickets in here. Total 62% of the bets, 65% of the money on the over here. It's been a 6. We're starting to get juice towards the +6, which is nice. And at some offshores, we're seeing 5.5 as well, which is very interesting here. Total has not moved. 53 is still 53. As you guys see, maybe you'll see it 53.5 somewhere, but it's been around there the whole time. Wine, I'll say it. I think Texas can win this game. I really do. They haven't played good all playoffs so far. Ohio State's been playing their best ball. And I trust Quinn Ewers. I know not many people will say that out loud. I still think he's a good quarterback. I don't trust Steve Sarkisian, sure, but give me Texas here, +6. And I'm going to be excited to watch this game, and I'm excited to hear your take here.
Yeah, this is a fun matchup, Jose. Ohio State, in my opinion, the best team in the nation. It's not even close. They've got the best roster on paper. What did they do this last offseason? They go out, they grab UCLA's head coach, Chip Kelly, say, yo, they don't want you there. We want you over here calling plays for us. Guy came and did an excellent job, man. Same with their DC, their defensive coordinator, man. Shout out to him, Jim Knowles, probably one of the better defensive coordinators in the nation right now. Other than Penn State, Ryan Day probably has the best set of coordinators. With Ryan Day and Jim Knowles. This is going to be a really good matchup. Texas, they've gone by in these games. They looked impressive against Clemson in those explosive plays. If this Texas team can't hit explosive plays, though, Jose, I don't know how they're going to be able to put too many points on the board in this matchup against Ohio State defense that is playing like the best defense in the nation right now. You got Jack Sawyer, let all those emotions out when Michigan planted that flag on their field. He was pissed off about it. Look what he's done these last couple games, being very disruptive, and not just the pass rush game, but the run defense game as well. JTT, another guy. Both these guys are going to be NFL starting defensive linemen here in the next year or two. Both really talented. They've got so much talent over there at Ohio State. I mean, we talk about this team. I mean, they have a $30 million roster this last offseason. That's what they did. They invested, and they invested in some pretty good pass catchers, if you ask me. As they always do. They got a guy over there named Jeremiah Smith. They've got another guy in there as well. But Jeremiah Smith, man, all eyes on this kid right here. This kid is a future potential #1 overall pick in the NFL draft in a couple years, at least a top 5. This guy one-on-one against any corner in the nation right now, I'm going to take him all day. And he's an 18-year-old freshman. And that's with Will Howard throwing the ball. Will Howard, that was one thing I was shocked about Ohio State. They go ahead and spend $1 million on Will Howard. A guy that I think kind of got run out of Kansas State last year. He kind of ran from the true freshman over there, ran from the competition this last offseason. I mean, that was his team. With that being said, Will Howard's also 0-3 in his career against Texas University. I know he's got revenge on his mind in this game. I talked about this game a little bit with Jimmy the Bag last Friday when we talked about the last couple of bowl games. I gave out Minnesota money line. I gave out Texas State money line. What else did I give out in that parlay for a +110? I gave out Ohio State money line. We hit the first 2. It's all posted on Twitter. Need Ohio State money line to win this game right here. Another thing we moved on early in this one, my guy Troy Torrance, shout out to him. He kind of put me on this play. I liked it, but as soon as he texted it to me, I knew it was the right play. And that is the Texas team total under 23.5. Little juicy, -120. I'm not sure if you can still get that number. I gave it out on Twitter, though. When was this? 5 days ago. Love that number though, man. This Texas team, like I say, they hit on these explosive plays against these defenses that, I mean, they had Clemson, don't get me wrong, good defense over there. But still, I mean, they hit on these explosive plays, and it's hard to hit on explosive plays against this Ohio State defense. You've got guys in the secondary. This Ohio State could be the most complete team we've seen in quite some time. They've got the deepest wide receiver room in the country. And who else do they have, man? They've got 2 future NFL running backs in Judkins and Henderson, man. These guys are top 5 running backs on NFL draft boards going into next year, or top 7, top 8. You know what I mean? Running backs rated going into the draft. Both of them really good, man. They like to rotate these guys in and out as they should. And what Chip Kelly's doing, though, man, he's hitting on these explosive plays by getting his receivers in one-on-one coverage against these cornerbacks. And he's taking those shots every single day. And that's what Will Howard's going to continue to do in this spot. I think Ohio State wins. I gave out the -6 as well, guys. Last week, -110. I did move on that, so I'm going to give it out on the show. Not going to lie, I don't like it as much now just from seeing the market and just kind of hearing everyone talk about Ohio State. They're going to win this game. I believe that too, because I believe what my eyes have told me these last couple weeks. And this team's hitting on all cylinders right now. They're pissed off. They got something to play for. They want to win a national title. They have the team. They've got the coaches to do it. All they got to do is go out and win this game. And and I believe that they can do that. So we're on 3 plays in this game overall. Ohio State to complete the money line parlay. Like I said, I gave it out with Jimmy last week. Then we're on the Texas team total under 23.5 -120. And then we're on Ohio State. -6, -110. I think Ohio State's going to get it done here. I think this is a mismatch. Texas, this is going to be by far the best group of wide receivers they have seen this year. It's not even going to be close. And I just think Ohio State has a lot of advantages in this matchup. I know it's going to be playing in Texas, Arlington. A lot of Texas fans are going to be there, but Ohio State has been traveling very well as well on these last couple games. So I believe they're going to show out for this one. I just think Ohio State, this team should win it all in the college football playoff. They should make it to the Natty and win it there too. So with that being said, those are my plays on this one, gentlemen.
All right. Wine. Great breakdown. Connor, welcome back.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Texas.
Yeah.
I lean Texas here, +6. Wine all over Ohio State. What do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I don't know if Texas could get it done here. I do think Ohio State is the best team, especially if they bring their A game in this. I think they're going to make Texas one-dimensional here. I don't know how Texas is going to run the football. They couldn't run it the last couple games. So prop right there, Wisner, take his under. I think his yards are 62.5. Maybe he busts one, but I think Ohio State gets it done. They were all over Oregon. I mean, I think they had 8 or 9 sacks on Gabriel. I think there's. I haven't seen sacks anywhere. I'm sure they're going to be out. So I'd look at sacks as well in this one. So it's going to be on Ewers to kind of, to win, to make something happen. I agree with you a little bit once on that team total under for Texas. I think it's a decent look. Like if Texas goes over that, they're either in this game, if they get, past that to 30, or they're definitely covering and it's tight. So I think it's just going to be difficult, for them to run the ball. I mean, the last couple of games, that's been their problem. And they weren't able to put ASU away with running it. They had the lead. They couldn't do it. Like they started just loading the box and they couldn't get anything done. So that'll be difficult. I mean, of course, they already are down a few running backs. That's been a long time though. So he's been in there, Wiser, but I don't think it's going to be easy when he's the only guy back there. To Ohio State, I think you look at the receivers here. I think they're going to make a couple big plays. I like this Texas defense, but it seems like this game's gone on the last couple weeks, as we've seen against Clemson. That secondary's got leaky. They start backing up. They did have the lead, but I think Smith could have a big game. Igbokwe too. I actually kind of look at him because Smith, I think, is right at like 88. I like him a little bit more. I think it's right around 60. I just think that's a really, really good number. And one more prop for this that I haven't bet any of these yet, but Howard, his rushing prop, it's just 13.5. I think anything under 15 is solid here. Of course, college, I've always do this with quarterbacks, the sacks. I don't love that and everything that goes with it. So, but I think under 15, he's got to make some big plays with his legs in this one. I mean, they just got out to that big lead, and it was over last week against Oregon. But I think he's going to have to make some noise as Texas still decent front seven and should be up there. But I think he can make a couple big plays with his legs. So I'm looking at his rushing yards over 13.5.
Okay. Conor Mac, way to drop in here, just giving us the knowledge.
Yeah, the more I look, I mean, I think the number's pretty, spot on here. You know what I mean? Like the Ohio State, they bring it, they win. But we've seen them not come to play. I mean, they let a Michigan team that couldn't even throw the ball beat them. I mean, they want Day out of there. Then all of a sudden, you get a big, of course, win at home versus Tennessee, and then they look unreal in a game. It's not always easy to play a team the second time. I'm sure we talked about it. You guys did. It's not easy. And then not at home in such a big, big game at the Rose Bowl. And man, they got their ass kicked. And Kelly's opened up the book a little bit since they just I thought the offense at times looked a little shitty. I talked about they need to get Howard rolling out in some trick plays, deep balls. You got these two receivers, get them the rock. Like, quit fucking around. Like, get them the football. And I think they got to take some chances too, and even early in this game. I mentioned, it's a side note because this is a totally different team. He did get his ass kicked, when he played at K-State. And I've worried about big games with Howard. He's 0-3 against them. I mean, of course, he's playing then in K-State. But, 6 touchdown, 3 picks. They lost all those games. Just kind of a side note to the game.
It was a beautiful note.
Oh, and I want the kicking game, because I forgot this earlier. I talked to him about Texas. That's another thing. I want a dog with a field goal kicker that can make a fucking kick.
Yeah.
This guy can't make a kick. I mean, these games get going down there. They stall out. That's another thing with Texas. They haven't been able to finish drives in these games. And then, when you get him to make a 35-yarder, he's missed them left and right. In the Georgia game where they should have been up last week, he missed a couple. I hate that. College kicking. Kickers that can't make them, tough take too.
Trouble.
I agree with you there. So I'm leaning Texas. I guess I'll sit back and just continue to watch the market and see how it goes. I lean Texas. Both our guys liking Ohio State. A lot of people in the chat liking Ohio State. Chris Warren, the one battling for Texas, all on his own in there. Shout out to you, Chris. It's going to be very fun to watch this game and this under, like Troy Torrance is saying.
Yeah, I think both these games could very easily go under. The only way either of these games go over, in my opinion, is if it goes to overtime. That's the only thing you have to worry about in these games, honestly. But I definitely lean towards the under in this as well. I might end up getting there because I am on the Texas team total. I'm just worried that maybe Ohio State can name their number here. But at the same time, they might also get up a couple scores and kind of take their foot off the gas pedal in a way, as we've seen them do. I don't think they should. I hope Chip knows by now they need to win this game, so don't take the foot off the gas pedal. That's why I'm off the full game total. But I might end up getting on the under on this one. I definitely like the look on that.
I want to hit on it just real quick because it hasn't happened since they lost to Michigan and they come out these gates the last couple of games so well. But Ohio State, if you like Texas, take them early, and they need to be good early. And Ohio State, all year we talked about how bad they were. Yeah. Maybe that's in the past, but they kind of were always asleep at the wheel. Just like, did they get off the bus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first quarter, it always seemed like, but if they're not up for this fucking game, come on. What are they living for? But I just wanted to put that out there kind of all year long. I know you're playing Northwestern and shit like that, but it was kind of a consistent thing with them a little bit all season.
Good notes here. Connor, I will roll back real quick. Notre Dame, Penn State here. We talked about it earlier. Do you have anything on this game? We talked about it. I like the under here with Wine Time Sports is on the under officially. I also kind of like Penn State, but a lot of our cappers on Notre Dame, I should say. Connor, any thoughts on this game?
This game's tough for me. I do like the under in this game. Just because I like, especially if you like Notre Dame, both these teams, the defenses have to come up big. Penn State, I got to give it to them. They beat who's in front of them, and they made big plays. Interceptions, turnovers in both those games. I mean, 2 pick sixes. And the last week, Boise, Madsen, which I talked about before, his guy's got to be clean, and he was awful. He had 3 picks. And I think they fumbled twice, 3, and they lost 2 of them. So that was killer. But Boise was able to move the football.
Yeah.
So I think Notre Dame could. Yeah, I think Notre Dame can move it on them here a little bit. I think they just gotta open the passing game up a little bit because Love's banged up. I think he goes. That offensive line has been great. I forget who mentioned it. Might have been Troy in the chat. I think anything under 50 because Riley Leonard, he's gonna have to run it here. Like I think anything under that number, even against this good Penn State defense, I think he's definitely, especially with everything that's going on with Love, has got to be big. It's just kind of the coin flip in this one. I think Notre Dame is a better team. You know what I mean? In the end, I think their defense can make the plays. I was shocked. I mean, they were all over Georgia. I thought that front 7 played great. I mean, they've lost some guys even in the secondary this year, like Morrison, and that secondary has been really good all year too. So man, tough game for me. I mean, I don't have anything right now. I lean the Irish and the under. I thought the Irish got past Georgia. Of course, they had Stockton in the game, but I thought they could get to the title game. You know what I mean? That this kind of is their year a little bit. But Penn State, I got to give ups to him. I think Franklin's going to fucking do something stupid. So that's always in my fucking mind. Yeah.
Okay. Well, beautiful breakdowns, both of you. You guys did a great job breaking these games down. I have no official plays, but you guys heard our guys breaking these down. Well, beautiful work, gentlemen. I don't know. I don't think Jimmy's back next week, so I'll figure that out. But I appreciate you both for joining me on Betting with Bouquett throughout the last few months here. Connor, I'll start with you. You've done some college basketball with me today. You did the college football. I appreciate you, my man. Anything you want to plug before we get you on out of here so you can enjoy the rest of your day?
Nope, that's it. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate all you guys. Morgan, Rick, Jay, Troy, the Jew. Just my 2 cents. What up, my man? Christopher Comentini. We had a knockoff just by 2 cents here earlier today.
Yes, we did.
But shout out to everyone in here. Kongs, my man. I know he likes Notre Dame. Shout out to him. But that's it. Conor Mac Picks. Thanks for having me. I'll shoot you over the juice on these basketball plays, Jose.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. And I will see you very soon. Conor Mac, great job there. Wine, you've been dominating college football the whole year, Mr. 60% in the regular season, and we're going to keep it rolling here this week. I know you were very excited to talk about these games, so I'm glad that we got to talk about them. Anything you want to plug before we get you out of here?
Yeah, guys, it's been a great year doing the show with you, Jose, on Wednesdays. Excited to do it with you next year, man. Let's keep getting this cash in college football and all sports, guys. Shout out to everyone in the chat. See my guy Nutflush in there. Good to see you, Mike. Got to hang out with him a couple weeks ago with Jimmy the Bag and G and Sweaty Butcher, all the fellas. DJ Big Boss, man, that was a good time. See my guy 2 cents in there, my guy Troy. I'll see you at Pub 4, my guy. Justin McKelvey, I hope you're there too, my guy. Just shot you a follow on Twitter as well. I saw my guy Justin now has a Twitter. Dutch reposted it. If that's you, Justin, I hope it is because I shot you.
What?
Yeah. So with that being said, shout out to all you guys in there. Rick J, Morgan Spooner, Da Juice, movie ticket recaps, Chris Warren, Christopher Comentini. Shout out to you guys, man. We love you guys. Hit the like button on your guys' way out. I think we only got 60 in here, but we got over 100 people in here. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to my guy Troy right there. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Very nice. Wine Time Sports. Justin, you let us know. That can't be real. Justin, there's no way that Justin McKelvey made a Twitter page. No shot. But that is very funny. Dabby made me get a Justin McKelvey is on the Twitter machine. Wow. I can't believe it. I am shocked. Good Lord. What a big upset that is. So go follow Justin on Twitter. Justin, drop your @name so the boys can follow you in here, Justin. Good Lord. It's nice to see you on the social media streets here, Justin. That's very funny. Appreciate all you guys watching the show here today. Nice little Wednesday morning get up and go show. I will be back here tomorrow. It's Thursday tomorrow, so we've got Betting with the Bag, and we have our final Cappers contest show of the year. We're going to congratulate our guy Nunya for winning, and then we will push everyone to sign up for that lovely confidence pool. It's a lot of fun, guys. If you guys don't know, we'll play the video again here at the end of the video, but sign up for the confidence pool. You can do it right now at pubsportsradio.com. It's only $50 to enter. All of that money except for $3 that are credit card transaction fees type thing will be put right back into the pot. So $47 from everyone is going to be in that pot. And to get you guys excited for tomorrow, the horse races, instead of $50 in cash, we are doing a free entry into the NFL confidence pool this year. So if you're not a gold member, sign up because you will have a shot to be a part of the NFL confidence pool this year for free. Wine, thank you again. Bo Jackson, just my 2 cents. Billy Friedrich, Nut Flush Allen. Or Nut Flush, yeah. Allen, thank you. Nut Flush, hope you're doing well with all the fires and stuff in California. Wine Time bringing it up. It's a great note. Hope everyone in our California Cappers Dessert Tucci's, all of you guys are doing well with that stuff. I know it's very scary. I know it's a semi-frequent occurrence in California, but it doesn't make it not scary either way. So thank you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. 2 cents. Shout out to you, my spicy little potato. Thank you for watching, my guy. Go watch their Locker Room Talk podcast on Tuesdays at night. It's live premieres then. You can watch it right now. Again, the Juice movie ticket recaps. Chris Warren, good luck with Texas this week. Chris, my guy. Troy Torrance, good luck with your knee, Troy Torrance. Kongs, Clips, Rick J, Christopher Commentini. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys. Lex Steele, Tori Coker, Bob Harvard, Chris Warren. Thank you all. You guys make this show worth doing on the days that I don't want to get up super early and start making these graphics. You guys in the chat are the ones that keep me wanting to do this, you know? So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Please, the last 2 things I'm going to say. Again, I'm going to keep mentioning it. Sign up for the confidence pool, pubsportsradio.com right now. And 2, show up for Pubapalooza 4. If you're watching these videos every day, if you're handicapping with us, do your best to get out there. It is the best weekend of the year. It's my favorite weekend of the year. It's my Super Bowl. All of the people in the chat coming in to say hello is just, it's overwhelming at times because, you know, I'm very self-deprecating and I don't compliment myself. And then I've got all these people who watch me frequently and they give me compliments. I'm like, but I appreciate it. It's my favorite weekend of the year. And I hope you guys can come because I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I'm excited to hang out with my guy, Nasty Nate, Troy, Wine, all you guys. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter at Jose Bouquett for more Pub Sports Radio content. Sign up for a confidence pool. Till then, say hey, and we'll see you guys next time.
The NFL regular season is over. Congratulations to our 2024-2025 Cappers Contest champion, Nunya. Nunya Business getting all the money. Congratulations to you, my friend. Couldn't go to a better guy. But competing for cash is not over because it is now time for our second annual confidence pool. There are 13 games in the NFL playoffs, so you have 13 slots to use. Your number 13 13 is your most confident spot. These are all straight up, not against the spread. You have to use each spot, 13, 12, 11, 10 down to 1. You can't use the same slot twice. If you cash your number 13, you get 13 points. If you cash your number 1, you get 1 point. The capper with the most points after the Super Bowl wins. The top 10% get paid.
And it's only $50 to enter right now at pubsportsradio.com. Sign up before Saturday at 4:30 Eastern time. Get in all the action with our Pub Sports Radio crew.
And we will only take $3 for fees. So $47 goes into the pool, and we will compete for the cash.